Yo! What's going on, everybody? You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Happy Thursday to all of the real ones out there. We appreciate everybody for stopping by and getting ready to hang out with Marsh and Smitty, as we got a lot to talk about here on today's show. We're going to go through Mock Draft 8.0 with trades. We hadn't done a mock draft with trades just yet. We got offered a trade in Mock Draft 7.0, but I hung the phone up in Mitchell Renz's face because it was a disgraceful offer. So Mock Draft 8.0 with trades. Unfortunately, it's only a 3-round mock draft because we didn't get to 1,000 likes on the last one. So maybe if we get to 1,000 likes on this one, we'll do a 7-round mock draft. We're going to go also through my perfect/realistic-ish free agency plan for the 2025 New York Football Giants, based some of the contracts that we could be giving these players, that other players at similar level of talents signed. We're also going to go over the betting odds that have been released for the Giants' first-round draft pick, and then we got a mailbag on today's show. So not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 Giants segments to get into. I'm excited to do so. Got producer Smitty in the building today, ready to rock and roll. Talk some G-Men, man.
Let's go. We're in the, I would call it, the first half of the first quarter of the offseason. And you know what? The rumors are flying. The news is happening. The Giants got to get back on track. And it starts in, what, about 5 weeks? 5 weeks free agency?
Yeah, about a month almost.
Yeah.
About a month. I mean,
this is kind of that dull period, right, between the end of January and the beginning of March.
Yeah, February it can get sticky in February. It'll turn up last week of February as free agency will get rolling in that first week of March. Then you'll be riding off the free agency high for 2.5 weeks, and it'll die down for about a week and a half. Then you'll go to the combine, and then you'll do this, and you'll do top 30 visits, and you'll do pro days, and then before you know it, Giants will be on the clock at pick number 3, or maybe pick number 2. Or maybe pick number 1.
Ooh, it's going to come faster than we think. I mean, time is going to fly, and next thing you know, we're going to snap our fingers, and we're going to be at the 2025 draft. Where is the draft this year?
The draft is in Green Bay.
Oh, my God.
I just liked it when they did that Radio City Music.
City. Yeah, keep it in the family. Keep it in New York.
Keep it in New York, baby.
Yep. That's where NBA draft doesn't stray from.
My dad told me he used to go to the draft all the time because one of his best friends, I don't remember the exact relationship, but one of his best friends' dad or family member or something worked in the Jets front office, so he got to sit like in the green room, like at the Jets, like
oh no way,
little like table and stuff.
That's pretty cool.
Back in the day. So that was I always thought that one was a pretty cool story. Shout out to y'all, man! 148 people already in the building, 42 likes. If y'all could, please hit that thumbs up icon. It is free. It is easy. And I want to make this the biggest live stream on Giants YouTube today, and we need your help. So if you're able to, if your fingers work, just tap the thumbs up icon that you see on your screen. 143 watching. I think we should be at 143 likes. If you're here 4 minutes into the show, that means you bleed New York Giants now, blue and red.
Sickos.
You're sickos, so you should like the video.
Yep, exactly.
You should like the video.
Totally free.
I mean, holy crap. I mean, if I come to your house the first time, you tell me to knock on the door, I'm not going to ring the doorbell the second time.
No.
I'm just going to walk in.
Yeah.
I'm just going to walk in. Let's go.
Exactly. Listen, you guys are chomping at the bit for Giants off-season news, rumors, the whole jazz. You got to like the video. Help more people see this, because I bet more people are looking for the same info you're watching right now.
My man King Cal in the building. What up, King Cal?
Oh, King Cal.
King Cal. He's a big-time real one. Shout out to him.
First time, long time.
First time. We only usually get King Cal to stop by on game days.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's here in the building today. Maybe we mix it up. Maybe we get a little juicy today. It's Thursday. I don't got to work tomorrow. Smitty does.
I do.
That sucks.
It does.
This is my Friday. This is the last thing I'm doing at Chat Sports for the week until I'm back on Saturday doing the Knicks watch party. But you know what? I'm ready to do some things.
Of course.
Hang out with the crew. Maybe do a little bit of this. Maybe do a little bit of that. I don't know, Jim.
It's always up to you guys. If you guys want to.
Chat controls the show as always. If y'all want to get off the rails, we can get off the rails. But we do have a lot of content to get into today
as well.
Let's do it. Rob Jigga, what up, my man? Shout out to y'all. If y'all have liked the video, type me in the chat. So I know who the real ones are, and I'll give some shout-outs. Young the Hot Boy in the building says, let's get it then. I will say, Young the Hot Boy, you know this. Vasquez, you know this. And it was all because of Rob Simpy. Giants now, or Knicks now, has set a pretty high bar for Giants now. They banged 26 times in a row on Knicks now, all because of Rob Simpy. Rob Simpy said, if he came into the Knicks Now streets, and he said, if I send a $50 super chat, who's got my back? And that rolled into 2 in a row, 3 in a row, 4 in a row, 5 in a row, 26 $50 super chats in a row. Knicks Now has set the bar high.
Legendary stuff.
I think Giants now will maybe be able to beat it one day, but it's going to take a valiant effort.
Oh, it's going to take a massive performance from the real ones.
I don't know. I don't know if that's today. I don't know when that is, but it's unreal. Rob Simpy, an absolute legend. Chill Mode T says, of course, me. Let's go. Peter says, Marshall, I watch you over the Super Bowl.
Chills.
That's chills, dog. That's chills. BX Bang and NY Reppin says, me, that's my guy. Jack Daddy Bob says, Marsh, what would your reaction be if we select Mason Graham third overall? I know this is unlikely, but I want to know.
I don't think it's the most unlikely thing in the whole wide world.
Yeah. If I had to rank my crash outs for draft picks that could go to the Giants, Jalen Milroe would be run.
Yeah, he would be a crash out.
Jalen Milroe at 3 would be a crash out. I would then probably say there are no other crash outs, really.
I mean, they're really good football players that you could select there at 3.
I wouldn't love Will Johnson at 3, but
I think I'd crash out over.
Yeah, I probably would crash out over Will Johnson. But like Mason Graham, if both QBs are gone, I don't think it's the worst pick in the world. Abdul Carter, if both QBs are gone, I don't think it's the worst pick in the world. Travis Hunter, both quarterbacks are gone. That's the pick.
I'm fired up.
That's the pick. I would watch a Marsh house tour. Should we just put a camera in the Chat Sports house and just have you guys watch it on a live stream all day long? J-Man, what's up, homie? Shout out to Gary Carter, says trade back and steal Genty. Haven't we learned about drafting running backs in the first round when the team around him isn't that good? Haven't we learned that? Haven't we done that drug? Haven't we felt the bad side effects of that drug before?
Sang that song, did that dance, and it wasn't a pretty one.
No. King Kenya in the building. What up, my man? Shout out to King Kenya. He was a part of the legendary Knicks Now 26 bangs in a row. We definitely wouldn't have got – would we have stopped at 25 on Giants because 26 would have been for Saquon? Or does 26 become for Antrell Roll, the actual Giants legend?
Yeah, Antrell Roll or Giants legend or Leans Dark.
Or the real 2-6.
The real 2-6.
The real 2-6. Knives and stuff says, guys, we don't have a good enough O-line for Genty. We just don't have a good enough pick. We don't have a good enough pick for Genty. Or a good enough team for Genty. No, I'm not interested in that. Just not. Barkley was our best signing in the last 10 years. Well, he was a draft pick, brother. He was a draft pick. And I don't think it was. It didn't.
When you did sign him, it was actually one of the worst things you could have done when they franchise tagged him.
He was one of the best players we drafted, no doubt about it. But I can't say one of the best picks because.
What did it result in?
Yeah, it didn't really result in much. Elan says, yo, Martian Smitty, what's good? What up? What up?
Beast?
Yeah, the O-line was fine, but I just don't think the Giants should draft Ashton Genty. Like, you got a lot more other holes. I'll just leave it at that. Joey DeLuca coming in with a super chat. First super chat of the day. Shout out to my man, Joey DeLuca. Always in the building. Always showing love. We appreciate you, my man. Salute to you, Joey DeLuca. If you guys want to get in our mailbag coming up here in a little bit, get your questions in the chat. Hashtag Giants or super chat to get on the show. We're going to do a mailbag probably in about an hour, hour 15, maybe longer than that. I don't know. It always depends on you guys. If we just want to chop it up, if we want to do whatever we want to do. But we are going to get to a mailbag today, and we need some questions. So help producer Smitty out. Get some questions in the queue. Jump down in the comments section. Hashtag Giants or Super Chat. All Super Chats that are Giants applicable, we'll answer those in the mailbag as well. Hixie Dust, what's happening, man? Still holding out hope for Cam Ward slide. I am as well. You know what? It's too early to really believe in anything you see or the other way. And The Tennessee Titans have come out and say we're going to take a generational prospect at number 1. I don't know if anyone would call Cam Ward a generational prospect.
No.
But we are in smokescreen season, and they are a team that needs a quarterback. And he is looked at by the majority of the NFL as QB1. So, yeah, I do think there's a good chance that he is the pick, but I also think there's a solid chance that he's not the pick. Like, it might be 60-40 right now.
When you said there are smoke screens going around, are you talking about that when the Titans say the Titans' words about drafting a generational talent?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe that could be a smokescreen.
Yeah, it could be.
Maybe that's hey, we're going to end up taking a quarterback. Like, I don't know. I don't know what it is.
I would say that in the Titans situation, their roster around, like the roster that would be surrounding the quarterback coming in, I think is worse than the Giants. So, I mean, maybe they could try to build that foundation and take an Abdul Carter or a Travis Hunter, somebody who's just going to ball out weekly and pick again in the top next year when there's better quarterbacks available potentially.
Yeah, well, they got Calvin Ridley as their wide receiver 1.
Yeah.
Westbrook Akine, or whatever the hell his name is.
Yeah, he's eh.
Wide receiver 2.
Yeah.
Their O-line is not good at all. Their O-line is way worse than the New York Giants.
Their running back room isn't too bad. It's good
Running back's all right. Tony Pollard, Tajay Spears.
good for checkdowns.
Um,
How long is Calvin Ridley under contract there for?
This is his first year there. I think he signed a 4-year 90-something. Maybe even more.
Yeah, 4-year 92. Good on you.
4-year 92. That's good. That's good recall by me. Yeah, I'm hoping Cam Ward slides too, Hicksy Dust. Slides right to Big Blue at number 3. Shout out to you, bro. Rob Jigga. What's up, Robbie? Appreciate you tuning in and always showing love to the channel. Says Marsh, on a scale of 1 to 100, how confident are you today with the Giants getting Ward? More mocks have Ward at 3 to the Giants. Yeah, Bucky Brooks did a mock. Cam Ward went number 3 to the Giants. Daniel Jeremiah did a mock. Cam Ward went number 3 to the Giants.
So they had both those. I'm assuming had Carter Hunter in some order.
Yeah,
1, 2.
I didn't do deep dives on either. I just saw kind of the aggregation that
Giants
got Ward on those.
Yeah.
I'd say 33% confident. 33. 1 to 100.
It's actually not bad, honestly. It's not a bad confidence level to have.
That's about where I'm at. If I had to break my confidence thing, I would put it like this, actually. I would say I think there's a 50% chance Shedeur Sanders is the pick at number 3.
Oh, my God.
I think there's a 50% chance Shedeur Sanders is the pick at 3.
Flip that coin.
And then I would say a 30% chance of Travis Hunter and a 20% chance of Cam Ward.
Okay.
So that's my final answer. I just changed completely, but that is final. 50 Travis, Shedeur, 30 Travis, 20 Cam. That's my January 30th pie chart of 100%. And that's where I'm at.
Okay. That's not bad. It's not a bad place to be. The pie charts are dynamic. They could always change with the new things and the new smoke that comes out from whichever organizations and insiders. So this is a January pie chart. The March pie chart might look different.
The day before the draft.
Oh, that's going to be a big one. Rob Jigga, you're a legend. Appreciate you, big dog.
Rob Jigga, what's up? Cha's giving you a tough time, man.
Is Cha chirping me about
Cha's chirping you about your jersey selection.
External obligations.
The how you're paying the bills.
Buffalo Smitty. Listen, I got to keep the lights on, Mr. Rick, all right? I got to keep the lights on.
He's got to pay his rent, Mr. Rick.
I got things to do. Marsh is already the host of Giants now. I love being a part of Giants now, and I hope I can sit in this chair for a very long time. But I got other things to do as well, trying to make my mark, trying to leave my legacy, and do some big things here at Chat Sports. Give me a break, Mr. Rick. No, I'm just kidding with you.
Yeah, no, he's doing a good job. He's doing a good job.
It's all love.
It is what it is. In life.
It's sad. It is sad, man. I had the best time. Like, throughout my time at Chat Sports, don't let anybody else hear this within these walls, but this has been the best time I've had working here in the little over a year and a half that I have been.
Mr. Rick said, who was the wannabe Marshy you were with?
It was Petey.
Petey?
Yeah.
Petey's awesome.
Yeah, Petey's good guy.
Petey's good. My man King Cal, what's happening, homie? Shout out to you, a real one in the flesh. Give me some KCs in the chat. Says, what's good, Marsh? What's good, bro? King Cal, question to you, and you only. No one else is allowed to answer this. You're on the clock at number 3. I'll just say this. Who's your dream pick at number 3, King Cal?
Ooh.
Dream pick at number 3, King Cal. Let me know. Jaquicks. What's up, JJ?
Love his name.
Is Stefan too old to get in free agency for us? I would just say where he's going in his progression of his career and where we're going in our progression of the career, I'm not sure I want to go out and sign a veteran wide receiver coming off a torn ACL that is past his prime and looking to win a Super Bowl. I just don't think it makes a lot of sense for the New York Giants.
Definitely talented. It's just the timelines don't really match up.
And, he was kind of if you can't get along with Josh Allen, I mean, I don't know if you're the best locker room guy.
Agreed.
He couldn't get along with Kirk Cousins, who literally saves up coal cash points. He couldn't get along with Josh Allen.
Who's like the chillest guy out there?
I don't know. I think Stephon Diggs is a great receiver. I think the Giants need another weapon. I don't know if I would.
There's other receivers who we would like more.
Yeah. Other guys I would like more. I'm not going to call it the worst move ever if it happens. Daboll and Schoen know Diggs personally. They spent time with him in Buffalo. They'll know if he's the right fit for this team, but I would just kind of rather someone that's in their prime and ascending than past their prime and descending.
It is a little interesting that the Diggs drama kind of started once Daboll and Schoen had left. So that is a little something of note. Maybe he was a big Brian Daboll fan and he liked what Joe Schoen did up there in the front office.
We got Vinny Pip in the building just yelling at somebody in the chat.
Dude.
Nick Jones.
Who?
Nick Jones, what up, my man? Says Will Howard. Is this? Oh, no, this is last week's.
Oh,
yeah.
This is new Nick Jones. New
Nick Jones says, hey, Marsh, did you watch Will Howard's film?
Still
and how do you feel about him now in later rounds? If Ward and Sanders are taken, would you still prefer Dart? I've come to the conclusion I only want 2 quarterbacks in this class.
That's it.
It's either Ward or Sanders for me. I get it. We all want to be the mid-round guy. We're all going to find him. There's a lot to like about Will Howard's game. I'm just a Ward or Shedeur guy.
They're the 2 guys that I feel confident in starting at some point. Maybe not week 1 per se. Maybe it is week 1, but in year 1, those are the only 2 guys that I would feel comfortable putting out in the field.
I will say I thought Will Howard's tape got better as the year went on. I don't know if this was because that was his first year here. I actually saw him play a couple times live when he was at Kansas State. I went to that Big 12 championship game where they beat TCU. I was there. That was who was their QB? Daniel Jones-Light, Max Duggan.
Max Duggan, that's right.
That game went to overtime.
He was more like a Tebow than a Jonesy. I think the game did go to overtime. Deuce Vaughn had a night.
Yeah, I went to that game. That was at Jerry World in Dallas. I think that there's a world where he could be a long-term backup in the NFL. Maybe becomes a starter. I'm swinging for the fences.
People are he's definitely going to have a better image in people's minds due to the fact that the last throw that he made in that national championship game was an absolute seed.
It was.
That sealed it.
It was. I thought he played well in the Natty. They also blew him out.
Yeah.
Wasn't really a game.
And it was the Jugkins show. It really wasn't the Will Howard show.
Yeah. There was so much talent on that Ohio State offense. Look, he got the job done. If we don't take a quarterback in round 1 and you want to take Will Howard in round 4, sure. But, I'd rather just take a 330-pound defensive tackle. We got over 220 people watching. If you haven't yet, please hit that thumbs up icon.
We're at 98.
98 likes away. We're 2 away. Do it for Shedeur.
They told me bust out my AP. Perfect timing.
Do we have to get APs next year if Shedeur's a Giant?
At least some replica or Fugazi APs. How that shit dances.
King Cal, you got a plug for us? Can you get us AP'd up? Audemars.
Get us iced, bro.
My man King Cal stays in the ice.
By the way, you could tell there's like levels to NIL and then actual pro money when you saw Jackson Dart's chain. That shit wasn't dancing.
Why was it a choker?
Why? Yeah.
Why was it so tight on his neck?
I think you just have to wait. Like bro, you're gonna have the money for a while. Just wait until you have a little bit more and then buy a bigger bust down.
I think I might be out on Jackson Dart.
Dude, he's like.
I was out, and then I got kind of paused, sucked in, but I think I'm out again. He supposedly was not good at the Senior Bowl.
Really? I honestly,
There's been some people that said he was good. From the people that I know, their boots are on the ground. I don't know. I don't know.
Been uber tapped in with the Senior Bowl, but obviously Shedeur, Cam, they're not playing. Who's been the standout QB so far?
None of them.
Oh, good.
I've heard none of the QBs have been good. None of the QBs have risen. I heard it's not been a good week in Mobile. Not a good week in Mobile.
The Giants are just wasting their time.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, man.
Cha! A $20 super chat. Smitty, pay your electric bill. You know the Chas love you. Just kidding, you kid.
Nah, I appreciate you, Mr. Rick. You're the man. Always have been, always will be.
Milrow is skipping dig routes.
Stop it.
Like on air. Like 15-yard in routes over the middle. He's skipping them.
Like the Welker route? Or straight up like
literally just
drags.
a 10-yard in.
Drags, 10-yard ins.
10-yard in.
Oh, man.
On air, just skipping it like he's throwing it from the hole in shortstop.
Oh, boy.
He's also got 8-inch hands. I don't want to talk too much about hand size because, you know what? If you could spin it, you could spin it. But when you have smaller hands than small hand Kenny Pickett, I don't know if I like that.
It's probably just not the best quality tangibly to have.
No. Already went, especially when accuracy is a concern.
Oh, yeah.
That's where I'm at on that. Marco! Di Natale!
Di Natale!
Marco!
That guy is fucking Italian.
Did you go to Don Bosco Prep with Tommy DeVito?
Is he North Jersey born and raised?
Marco, you're the man, bro. You're the man, bro. What are your thoughts on taking Restrepo early round 2? Him and Neighbors would be lit.
Is he getting mocked around there?
Yeah, round 2, round 3. I think it's a little bit Pennington, New Jersey.
Oh, I actually don't know where that is.
Where's that? Where's that at, Smitty?
I gotta find that piece.
I like Restrepo. I do. I think he's going to be a good slot receiver in the NFL. For me personally, though, I don't know if I want the Giants to take another slot receiver in round 2. They already tried that. In Wan'Dale Robinson. You still need one, but I don't know. I got to do more tape study on these wide receivers. I started to dabble last week. I like Restrepo. I've obviously watched every throw of Cam Ward multiple times, and it's a Restrepo highlight tape. Strong hands. I worry a little bit about his top-end athleticism. He just knows how to win, though. He knows how to get open, strong at the catch point, can separate. I like him. I view him more as a third-round receiver, though, than like pick 34, Marco. Let me do some more research on the other guys. Still early for me as well, but I do like him. I do like Restrepo. If you could find a way to get him at the third round, that'd be great. Second round, I picked 34. It's just a little bit early for me, I think. I think at this point. Scott Hernan. Yeah, buddy. Hope you guys are doing well. Let's go.
Scott Hernan also came to the Bills watch party over the weekend.
Scott Hernan tuned into the Bills watch party.
He gave me a couple of yeah buddies. It was dope.
Love that. Love that. Thunder in the building. That's my guy. Says, I'd take Miller in the third if he was still there and sign a QB for 2 years, only if we miss out on Ward and Sanders.
Oh. Thunder. I'm out on the Milrow.
I think I'm also out on the Milrow.
We're not doing it.
I think I'm out on the Milrow. I don't know, man.
Was he even that good in 23?
He had some big-time plays.
He had some moments, but he had a couple moments this year, too.
What was that throw last year to win the game?
Against
in the back left of the end zone as the buzzer was going down?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think that was against Auburn.
That was nasty.
That was nasty.
That was nasty. That was nasty.
And then the play to Ryan Williams on the sideline this year. Obviously, he made the crazy play afterwards, but that was a good strike and almost beat Georgia because of it.
What do you mean, Kenya? Kenya says, are we keeping on my... I don't know what that means. You don't know what that means?
Let us know, King.
Yeah, let us know what you mean by that. Throwing shade. Chat to you, $5 super chat. If you had to trade draft positions with the Raiders, what's a fair trade? Who would you draft, and who would you be happy with your selection? The only way I would trade down with any team while a quarterback of Shedeur Sanders or Travis Hunter is on the board, I got to get multiple. I got to get a first-round pick. Mitchell Renz, the host of our Raiders Report channel, I asked him to give me a trade idea, and he sent me this. Y'all can let me know if you would do it. This was mock draft 7.0. I said, hell no. If I am trading out from the third pick, Smitty, I got to get a first-round pick down the line.
I wholeheartedly agree because what Vegas would be trading up for is a quarterback. So there is value to more than there's more value to trading up, not only because it's the third pick, but because they are taking a quarterback and you can negotiate that on the phone with them.
And you're passing up on the quarterback.
Exactly. So they have to get something of equal value or more back.
This is a funny story. Former Stanford head coach David Shaw and the Lions have agreed to terms on a multi-year deal to hire him as pass game coordinator.
Okay. Why do I know David Shaw? He was in the news.
He was the head coach for Stanford for a long time.
And then he just did he just get fired or something?
He hasn't been with them for a couple of years. Okay. He also interviewed for the Chicago Bears job.
Okay.
He was a hot head coaching candidate name a couple of years ago.
Something I don't know. I remember hearing something about him this past year.
Wild. Yeah, I wouldn't do that trade. Would you be happy if you had to trade? Who would you trade? Okay, so let's say we trade down to 6. I'm getting a future first-round pick at minimum and something else at 6. So that would mean Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders are gone. That would mean Travis Hunter is gone. That would mean Abdul Carter is gone. And maybe Mason Graham is gone. I would either go Will Johnson or Mason Graham at 6. One of those two guys if I traded down. But I don't really like the idea of trading down with one of these QBs on the board. I don't.
He was Luck's coach. I didn't realize that.
Andrew Luck's coach. He was there for a while.
Yeah. He was OC from 07 to 11, and then they made him a head coach in 11.
Mr. Rick says, how much money does Joe Schoen have to play with this spring? Around $54 million in cap space.
Then that's right now.
Right now. And that is about the 12th most in the NFL. On today's show, we're going to go through a full exercise of players that I would like to see the Giants sign, how much it would cost, how much each signing would impact the cap. I think it's a pretty cool video. I tried to mesh a perfect off-season free agency plan as well as realistic. So I hope you guys are going to enjoy that one. We're going to get into a mailbag coming up, and then we're going to dive into our first segment. The odds have been released for who is going to be the first pick for the New York Giants. So if you want to get in on the mailbag, you want to get your questions up on screen, #Giants, all super chats that are applicable to the New York Football Giants. We will include those in the mailbag as well. Saints taking Dart would be crazy. Like in the first round, King Cal, yeah, Dart's not a first-round quarterback. I think Dart is Drew Lock 2.0. I think he's Drew Lock 2.0. And that's a guy that's a day 3 pick in my opinion, and he's a perennial backup that has a long way to go.
It's definitely early, but only a couple people have gotten questions in. Thunder, Mr. Rick, Corinne. Those are the only people who've used #Giants so far to ask a question. I know it's early, but if you put a banger in there using #Giants, I'm definitely pulling it up.
Corinne getting a question. If y'all could, please get your questions in using #Giants. My guy Vasquez getting a question in.
And we'll remind you guys periodically throughout the show, as the mailbag is usually the last one that we roll with on the live program.
Frank says, dude, Marshall, Sanders, and Ward are day 2 talent too.
Listen,
I mean, all the guys that I respect have him as first-round grades. So, like, I don't know, man. I think that's a tired narrative.
a lot. It's not. I don't think he's not the only person who has ever said that. Like, he
No,
didn't come
like
up with
that.
take.
That's like the Instagram comment or take right now.
Yeah.
Mel Kiper has them both ranked inside the top 5 players in the draft.
Yeah.
Like Dane Brugler has them both inside the top 32 players. Daniel Jeremiah has them both inside the top 15.
And those guys don't rank players based off narrative or the fact that quarterbacks aren't available. Like, nobody had Kenny Pickett in the top 5 of the draft when he was the only QB that was mocked in round 1.
Like, I think it's we are coming off one of the best quarterback drafts in NFL history. So I think we've all kind of skewed our thoughts. Are they top 5 picks? Probably not. Are they top 10 picks? Probably not. Top 15? I would say so. I would take Cam Ward over Bo Nix. I know Bo Nix had a great game. Year he did. I would take Cam Ward over Michael Penix Jr. You guys, everyone told me that J.J. McCarthy was a second or third round talent. He went top 12. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just think it's so easy to say this QB class sucks. Like, it's just so easy to say that.
Cause that's what people say who don't put the work in and actually watch the tape and get to know who these players are and watch all their throws. Like,
is there a bona fide 5-star blue chip QB prospect? No. Is there 2 of them? No. Is there 3 of them? No. That was last year. That was a generational class.
And also, I do think he's going to be really good, but everybody's called Caleb Williams the biggest surefire thing of all time, and he had a mediocre rookie year. Now, the Bears are a mess, but you are what your environment says.
Like, everyone, yeah, exactly. All they did was act like game managers. Who acted like game managers? Cam Ward is the last thing from a game manager, brother. Davey95, what's up, my man? Yo, what's good? Would you trade for Stafford? And if yes, what's the price?
What's the price? Shout out to Migo.
Bo Nix is a game manager?
Yeah, he is.
I agree. He also just almost got Denver to the playoffs. I mean, in his rookie year.
And Bo Nix was a game manager who was picked 12th.
Can you name 5 starters on the Denver Broncos offense and not name Bo Nix? I don't think there's many people that can.
Cortland Sutton and you're cooked. That's it.
I would trade for Stafford. I'd be willing to give him pick 34. I'd go pick 34 for Stafford, but I don't think it's really all that realistic. I thought at one point it could be an avenue they travel down. I don't think Stafford wants to play for any other team but the Rams. And I think it's Rams or retire. That's kind of what I've come to. Rams or retire.
Yeah, didn't it say like he's
Denver made the playoffs. I forget. So many teams make the playoffs now.
And he was up 7-0 on the Bills.
I don't know. I just think that it's like, I don't know. Everyone has different evaluations, and that's what makes it awesome. That's what makes it awesome. Bear 315, what up, my man? $5 super chat. We're going to dive into our first segment after this super chat. All the ones that roll in during the segment, we'll hit all those. But if everyone could please hit that thumbs up icon, because we got 250 people watching, only 131 likes. Those are rookie numbers. So please, please, please hit that thumbs up icon once we get to 200 likes. Let's get to 200 likes. Bear, if we sign Fields or Darnold, do you think there's more of a chance we go BPA? Yeah, I think it is.
I think regardless, the Giants are signing a quarterback. So
yeah, like they have to, because they can't be in a situation where they put all their eggs in the basket of a quarterback falling to 3 and not have a contingency plan. So what happens if they don't sign a quarterback and they don't get a quarterback, and then your QB room is Jackson Dart and Tommy DeVito? That's not going to happen.
It's got big crash out potential right there.
Giants are going to sign a quarterback in free agency or trade for one. I can guarantee you that. I can guarantee you that. You can unsubscribe if I'm wrong. I won't be killing Joe Schoen or Cam Ward if they pick. I won't be killing Joe Schoen if he picks Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders because I would do it too. So I don't really have much room to stand on there. Hope everyone remembers that. So, yeah, there's no. What am I supposed to do? I think they should pick them. Best part is we get to all see it unfold together.
Yeah.
57 likes away. Hit that thumbs up icon. Let's go, let's go, let's go. And we could dive into our first segment of who is the favorite to be the first pick for the New York Football Giants. People are killing him for taking Tibbs and Neal. Not really. Not really. People are upset they're not good. No one said that they made necessarily the wrong picks. It just didn't work out. But I hear you. I hear you, brother. All right, let's talk about it. Odds to be the first pick for the New York Giants. They are live. The favorite to be the first pick of the 2025 NFL Draft for the New York Giants, it has been revealed, and there's going to be some surprises, I think, for all of the real ones out there. Before I share that information and my thoughts on the odds makers out west and what they believe is going to happen, I want to hear from you. Who do you think the Giants are going to pick at number 3? Predict it for me down in the comments section as we're about 85 or so days away from the 2025 NFL Draft. You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. We are just a couple months away from the draft, and the rumors, they are heating up, and the betting odds have been released for who is going to be the number 1 pick to the New York Giants in round 1. I thought it was interesting that they said the number 1 pick because maybe that means the Giants could move up or they could move down. Let's start, though, with the guy that I think is QB1 for the New York Giants, and right now he comes in as a favorite to be the first pick. Shedeur Sanders at -115 to the Giants' first selection. This is a guy that they have done a lot of homework on throughout the scouting process. 22 years old, 6'2", 215 pounds. He's got the size you want. He's got the frame you want, and I like that he's still a younger prospect. The Giants visited 4 games of his this season in Colorado. They went to 2 practices at Boulder. They spent time with him at the East-West Shrine Bowl, and Joe Schoen spoke about him at the Senior Bowl, and he said he checks all the boxes of a player that was coached by whose dad was a coach and someone that grew up around a football atmosphere. Mel Kiper Jr. has him as QB1 on his big board, and he says this about Shedeur. You won't find a tougher or more resilient quarterback prospect than Sanders, who took 99 sacks over the past 2 seasons, but still put up really strong numbers. I'm always impressed by watching him throw on the move, rolling either left or right. He is very accurate in those spots and has the arm to drive the ball. When his mechanics and footwork are sound, he can pick apart a defense. And while he's not necessarily a major rushing threat, he can keep the chains moving with his legs when there is an opening. And I agree with pretty much everything that Mel Kiper had to say there. This is a guy I think has become an underrated athlete. Look, he's not a scrambler. He's not a run-first QB. This is a guy, though, that can use his legs behind the line of scrimmage to buy time, reset the pocket, manipulate the pocket, and make throws downfield. Look, he's one of the most, if not, I'll just say, I think he's the most accurate quarterback in this class. I think his ball placement is the best. I think he gets from read to read to read, and his progressions are the best in this class. I worry a little bit about his arm strength and game-changing traits, but I love the ability for him to work out when the pressure is coming at him. When teams blitzed Colorado this past year, Shedeur Sanders made them pay. And that's why I believe he can be a successful quarterback in the NFL. Because his best skill, I think the thing that you would ask him what he's most proud about is his decision-making, ball security, and the ability to work in a pocket that I would describe as muddy, an unclean pocket. Rushers in his face, rushers at his feet, able to take one slight movement to buy time and find a way to rip that ball over the middle of the field. I think Sanders is going to be a good quarterback in this class, and I'll be pretty happy if he is the pick at number 3. Sanders, the favorite, or tied to be the favorite. We got both Colorado Buffalo football players tied at -115 to be the first Giants pick of the 2025 NFL Draft. And you know what? I'd be happy as well if Travis Hunter was the selection. I have Travis Hunter number 1 on my big board. I think he's the best football player in this class. There's a reason he won the Heisman. The guy had 92 grabs in 11 pass breakups, and 4 interceptions. He is unreal what he's able to do. And I truly do think that he is the best receiver in this class. And I also think he is the best corner. Look, a lot of people wanted to say he's not a top 5 corner, not a top 5 receiver. That was nonsense. That was yapping. This is a guy that had 96 catches for more than 1,250 yards. He averaged 97 yards per game, and he had 15 touchdowns. I compare him to Odell Beckham Jr. as a receiver, and on defense, I see traits of Trayvon Diggs. His ability to run the route for opposing wide receivers, the best ball skills I've really ever seen of any DB, and he might enter the league as the best kick and punt returner as well. He's a dynamic athlete. He's a big play maker, and he's a big-time gamer. This is someone that if the Giants added him, I think he has a legit shot to be an all-pro on both sides of the field later on in his career. Mel Kiper says this about him. The offensive and defensive coordinators for the team that ultimately drafts him are going to be battling each other to use him. Mel Kiper also talked about how Hunter has tremendous hand-eye coordination and elite ball skills. His physical traits and quickness are off the charts, but the Heisman winner also thinks about the game at a high level. He is a highly competitive prospect who works hard to maximize his potential. Kiper has also talked about he thinks that Hunter can play both sides of the football in the NFL. Nearly 1,500 snaps last year. And what do I think his best skill is? Being the best football player on the field at all times. Everyone knows what it's like to play with a sport with somebody where it's like, that guy is just on a different level. They find a way to make a play. They find an opportunity to change the game with their athletic ability. And I think Travis Hunter could do that. We've seen that on offense at Colorado, and we've seen it on defense with him making game-winning plays on defense, such as forcing a fumble on the goal line against the Baylor Bears. My question to you, though, with Shedeur and Travis both being tied with the best odds at -115 to be the selection, who would you pick if they were both on the board at pick number 3, SSTH? Let me know. Some people, might be asking the question of, what about Cam Ward? What about Abdul Carter? Well, where I got these odds from, they were not listed. Cam Ward was not listed as a player that had odds to go to the Giants, and neither did Abdul Carter, the edge rusher out of Penn State. And you know what? For Ward not being a, candidate to be the pick, what it sounds like in Las Vegas, that is a little disheartening for me. Ward is +100 to be the number 1 overall pick. He has the best odds of any player in this draft. I know there's been a lot of talk, and we've talked about it on Tennessee Titans passing on a quarterback. I think they still could, but the odds makers out west, who they don't really ever get anything wrong, they have him as the runaway favorite to be the number 1 pick. Then Abdul Carter, is he a lock to go at number 2 to the Cleveland Browns? I talked to my friend Matthew Peterson, host of the Cleveland Browns Report, and he told me he thinks Abdul Carter could be that guy, and he's probably the pick that he wants the most. So Carter and Ward, not even on the list of the top candidates to be the first pick for the New York Giants. We got 2 more players to talk about. First, though, I got to give a major shout-out to our proud sponsor here at Chat Sports, and that is Game Time. If you're looking to buy tickets for the big game coming up, you got to do it with Game Time. And if you use our promo code ChatSports, that's ChatSports, you're going to get $20 off your first purchase where terms do apply. You get the best seats for the lowest price guaranteed. If you use that all-in pricing feature, you're going to pay the price you see. No hidden fees. We've all used all the ticketing apps out there, and no one likes getting hit with hidden fees when you get to checkout. The app is also super easy to use. They offer a Game Time Picks feature that makes it that much more easy to go see your favorite team perform. It's more than just sporting events, though. You go to concerts, you go to theater events, you go to comedy shows, and so much more. If you want to go to a Knicks game, you can go catch one as well at MSG. So download the app, create an account, and use that promo code ChatSports. That is ChatSports, and you're going to get $20 off your first purchase where terms do apply. All of that information will be clickable down in the comments and description of today's show. What time is it? It's game time. Shout out to y'all for sponsoring this video. The person with the 3rd best odds to be the Giants' first selection in the draft is Jalen Milroe, the quarterback out of Alabama. There was a mock draft put out by CBS this week where they had Jalen Milroe going number 3 to the New York Giants. And I haven't done a reaction video to that yet because I'm not sure my reaction would be very nice to Jalen Milroe. He has not looked good at the Senior Bowl. He is skipping passes on air. He's got a hand size under 9 inches. That is smaller than Kenny Pickett. This is someone that I'd be extremely worried about drafting him in the first round. Talk about drafting him in the second round, in the third round, I would listen because he does have some hype. He does have some traits I'm willing to bet on. But I really thought he regressed this year with the new head coach at Bama and Saban out of there. Look, the touchdowns, down. Interceptions, down. Big-time throw percentage, nearly cut in half. And the pressured completion percentage in both of the last 2 years were not that good. Coming out of 2023, though, he had traits of being an elite deep ball thrower, 9.1 big-time throw percentage. That drops to 5.4. The best thing about his game is his legs. His ability to get moving on the ground and make plays is what makes him an elite runner. He has traits like that. 879 rushing yards, 20 TDs this past year, 5.9 yards per carry, 32 missed tackles forced. He has 30 runs of 10-plus yards, 12 runs of 15-plus yards. Of the 879 yards he had on the ground, 433 of them came after contact. He picked up 200 yards on scrambles, 679 yards on design QB runs, and he moved the chains 54 times. So if you're going to draft Milroe, you got to understand that he is a running quarterback, and that's really all I see him as at this point. He's shown the ability to take top off the defense, but not consistently enough. Some pros, dynamic rusher. He's got a bazooka, and he has playmaking instincts, but his mental processing is below what I would say a first-round quarterback is, even a second or third-round quarterback. I think his accuracy needs a lot of work. I don't think his footwork's good in the pocket. I think he lacks touch, really, over the middle and the intermediate parts of the field. He throws a great deep ball, but he lacks, that elite ability to layer the football. I don't think he's all that good in the pocket. I got him at a round 3 grade, high upside lottery ticket. If everything goes right, he's going to be a good player in this league. But I'm not sure it's all going to go right. I worry about his ability to win from in the pocket late in the game. To be honest with you, if Jalen Milroe is the pick for the Giants at number 3, that's going to be one of the biggest crash outs of my career. I'm not going to be able to do well. So check on me, pray for me, and let's hope that Jalen Milroe does not go number 3 to the Giants. Maybe this will be a video we look back in 10 years and all laugh at, and he's a Hall of Fame quarterback, and he got us number 5, 6, 7, and 8. But my eyes tell me that he is a guy that needs to sit for maybe a year or 2 and almost rework his entire footwork game and as a pocket passer. The last player that had odds listed was Will Johnson, the cornerback out of Michigan, with the longest odds of plus 800. So Shedeur 1, Travis 2, Jalen Milroe 3, and Will Johnson number 4. This is a guy that a lot of people had as the best defensive prospect heading into the 2024 season. Then he only played in a handful of games. Had a foot injury that popped up and really kind of sunk his stock a little bit. Dane Brugler actually had him as the number 1 player this summer going in to the season, but that has changed. As he says, my preseason number 1 prospect, Will Johnson, has missed multiple games this season due to shoulder and toe injuries. And the 2024 tape has had more volatility than you want to see. But he is fluid and long and shows terrific awareness in the passing game. Johnson still projects as a number 1 corner in the NFL. Dane Brugler now has Travis Hunter rated above Will Johnson as a corner. Look, Will was really good at Michigan. He was a cornerstone piece of that championship defense that they had into 2023-2024 season. But the injuries kind of scare me. And to be honest, I feel like taking a corner at number 3 feels like a reach for the New York Giants. You drafted a corner in the 3rd round last year. You drafted a corner in the 1st round the year before that. You drafted a corner as well in the 3rd year the year before that. Look, you can't just keep doubling down on these guys. I understand. I'm all for BPA at pick number 3. But Will Johnson doesn't even make my top 5 big board. To be honest with you, I don't even know if he's number 6. When I think about it like this, who am I okay with taking at number 3? There's 4 guys. I have 4 players on my big board that are worthy of the number 3 pick right now. If I had a 5th, it'd be Mason Graham. Number 1 on my big board, overall football players is Travis Hunter. But when tweaking it of who I want at number 3, Cam Ward, I'm in between these guys, Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter. I think you take the quarterback first, but I think Travis Hunter could be a blue-chip prospect in this league, and I got Abdul Carter, the edge rusher, there. Mason Graham could probably make this list, but overall, these are the only guys that I really think deserve to be that pick. Make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on IG, at @MarshallArena_. Hit me up, and let's go Big Blue. All righty, shout out to y'all. Corey Grant Coming in with a $5 super chat says, do you think Shedeur wants to play for the Giants? Do I think Shedeur wants to play for the Giants? I think if you ask Shedeur Sanders, any team in the NFL he could play for that is a realistic spot that needs a quarterback, I think he would put the Giants number one.
Ooh, number one.
I do.
Do you think it's Dion who wants him to be a Raider more than he actually wants to be a Raider?
I didn't see Shedeur wear Raider cleats.
That's right.
I didn't see Shedeur throw a pass with Brock Bowers.
No, they didn't do that.
I think that Shedeur's a smart guy. I think he understands the media, and I think he knows that, just like his dad's probably told him, if you're a star quarterback for the New York Giants, you could be the most popular player. You could be the most popular athlete in America.
Yeah, I mean,
you can
at a point, and these are not even the quarterback position. Victor Cruz and Odell Beckham Jr. were the most popular athletes in America for a time. They were. So there's an opportunity to be the biggest star in the league if he's a Giant and he's good.
Yes, I do think Shedeur would want to play here. He told his QB coach that you're going to be here no matter what, because his QB coach also coaches Cam Ward. So, yeah, I do think Cam and Shedeur, I think they both want to be here, to be honest with you, over being a Brown or a Titan.
Yeah.
And then he says, we need a rookie that have been looking incredible. Yeah, I would love to go get Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur at 3 is cool. He's my QB2. Cam's my QB1, but I'd be very happy if Shedeur is a Giant at 3. Marco Di Natale. What's up, my man? Says, if we get Keenan Allen, what happens with Wandale? He goes from your second option to your third.
You know what happens to Wandale? He gets a pen and a paper, and he starts taking some notes from Keenan Allen. That's what happens to Wandale. He goes to his slot school.
I would love the idea of adding a veteran receiver. Thing is, I don't think Keenan Allen wants to play anywhere besides the Bears or back on the West Coast, because he said that. He said, I either want to be with the Bears or back on the West Coast. Supposedly he hates the cold. I think having a veteran slot receiver, Chris Godwin, that can get open, has a winning pedigree, can mentor Malik Neighbors, be a big bro for the young quarterback, get open, be that. Well, I mean, Smitty, who was the go-to? Terry McLaurin. Every third down, where did Jaden Daniels go? Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz here. Zach Ertz there. Having someone in the slot that can win choice routes on man-to-man concepts, close to the line of scrimmage or closer to the quarterback from the slot, is huge for a rookie's development.
Yeah, I mean, for Jaden Daniels' case as well, he had Zacchaeus there running the slot for a lot of games too, and a lot of 4 or 5 yard choice routes for him as well that were just an easy safety valve for him, to check it down to.
I would like to add a slot veteran receiver, Chris Godwin, but Keenan Allen is on my list, that's for sure. Ro Montana says, can you do the Liam Cohen impression? I have no idea what you're talking about. No idea what you're talking about. Duval. That was good stuff. I didn't get to see Smitty's.
So, yeah, I actually did not realize that the entire office was as giddy to do this short that
I didn't get in it either.
So I didn't get it. I actually chose not to get in. I was offered, and I just, not everybody participates in every short that we do here at Chat Sports. So I was like, all right, I'm cool not being in this one. Now I have FOMO because everybody was in that bitch. Yeah. Everybody was.
We got Mike G in the building. Let's go.
Duval.
It's all in the eyes. It's all in the eyes.
You got to perk them up.
Duval. I want to see Mike G's Duval. What's up, Mike G? Ro Montana, you're a legend.
Dinger.
Let's go. I'm one hundo. Says Wandale stays in the slot. Yeah, nothing changes except probably less passes for hopefully the same amount of yards. Hopefully less 3rd and 8 conversions being attempted for 6-yard passes.
Non-conversions.
Yeah, attempts. Jane Rossi, what's up, homie? Shout out to y'all, 220 people in the building. What'd y'all think of the draft odds? What'd y'all think of the draft odds? Cam Ward, not even listed. Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter, both tied at number 1. The Big Moo, what up? Cam Brissett says we need Jackson Dart. How low is your bar?
I really need, when people say that, my
need in front of that is insane.
We need in front of that's crazy. My first question when people say that is, how much Jackson Dart have you watched? Because there's bad Jackson Dart out there.
And my next question would be, have you watched the Florida game?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about here. Threw 3 picks in a minute to lose the game and excommunicate them from the college football playoff. Just didn't have to turn it over 3 times in a minute, and they would have won.
Ridiculous. Mike G said, Smitty, what's up, brother?
What's going, big dog? Good to see you.
Nick Jones says, oh, Nick, that is hilarious. Yeah, not a fan at Milrow at 3. He's not even on my first-round big board.
No way. No way, no how.
He is not. Stanley Frederique with a $2 super chat. What's up, my man? Upside to life in the building. That's my guy. Upside.
There's a lot of real ones that, maybe we don't see every week here on the Giants live show, showing back up and showing out.
We appreciate y'all. That's love. Cha says, I want my kicker. Use the 7th form. Yeah, you got to get a kicker.
Definitely got to get a kicker.
Stanley Frederique says, you be okay for the Giants to trade for Tyreek Hill? I can tell you this much. Tyreek Hill told me he is not wanting to be traded. So that's that.
It's actually as plain as we can put it. Yes, Tyreek Hill told Marshall that he does not want to leave Miami.
Tyreek Hill told me face-to-face, Tampa, Florida, 2 weeks ago, that he doesn't want to be traded. He was mad they lost. He loves Miami. His house is being rebuilt after it burned down. Yeah. I tried to sell him on being a Giant, and he said, dog, I don't want to leave Miami. I love Miami. I hate the cold weather, and that's that. So, yeah. But not eye to eye, because I am taller than Tyreek Hill, which you guys, a lot of people were shocked.
Yeah.
They thought I was Mini Marsh.
They thought you were a little bro.
They thought I was Mini Marsh. I don't know if y'all saw the pic that I posted on my IG and Twitter, but yeah, I tried to sell him. He said, I don't want to play for any team but Miami. Literally, all my kids are here. My family is here. My house that I just rebuilt is here. I love Miami. They love me. I hate the cold, and I want to compete. So that's that. That's that.
We the plug say, what up, Smitty? My dog for real. What up? What's good, Marsh? The plug for real.
We the plug.
We the plug.
That's lit. That's lit. What's up, bro? Cha says, I paid my Giants invoice in full today. I'm sending Smitty the paper invoice they sent me in the U.S. mail to hang on his pegboard. Mr. Rick, did prices for season tickets, if you don't mind me asking, go up, stay the same, or go down? There's only one. There's 2 acceptable answers. There's 2 options.
Yeah.
There's 2 options here.
Yeah. If they went up, that's a problem.
Same. They held the price the same. You know what? I can appreciate that.
I can appreciate that. You had a dog shit season. If you rose those prices, people would have dropped. Smart move by Big Blue. And
I'm glad they did
Johnny
not
M's.
raise the prices on you, Mr. Rick. Did you ask for a full calendar this time?
Stop it.
They give their season ticket holders calendars from July to December.
Stop it.
Yep. And a medium Pepsi. One per PSL owner, or whatever it is.
That's absurd.
Mike G says Milrow has been awful. Yeah, we don't want Milrow. East-West Shrine game tonight, guys. Anyone watching? I'll probably have it on in the background. Keep my eyes on some of the receivers. I like the receivers out of Colorado.
LeJontay Wester.
I like Wester. I like Horn. And I like the other guy, the bigger, light-skinned receiver on the outside.
Oh,
I'm forgetting his name.
I'm missing his name.
Marsh looks like Moore will be the head coach of the Saints. That's what it sounds like. Kafka did have a 9-hour interview with the Saints, whatever that means.
What is it? Yeah, what does that? 9 hours?
What do you talk about?
I have no clue. That sounds like a doom fest. I mean, that sounds like a
Will Shepard. Yep, Will Shepard. You guys know ball. I like Shepard. Get him with Sanders. Sanders to Shepard. Mike G. They ain't no Golden Domers. They ain't no Joe Alt. But it'll do. Ooh, Knicks report. Boston Celtics, New York Knicks, and Denver Nuggets are among the teams showing interest in You're Gershon Yabusele.
Oh, my Brad Stevens. That's crazy.
If y'all get Yabusele, Yabawiwe, whatever her name is, I'm going to be pissed.
Dude, he's tough. And like they could trade for him, actually. Celtics and Sixers made a trade last trade deadline as well.
That's why you subscribe to Knicks Now. We talked about it 2 days ago.
Talked about it 2 days ago.
Cam says, do you really think there's a franchise quarterback in the 2025 season?
Draft, I'm assuming.
I think there's 2.
You think? All right. So you've stamped down that Shedeur Sanders is a franchise quarterback.
If you got to have the right around him.
Yeah, I think that's the case with a lot of guys.
Yeah. Like.
Can't have Matt Eberflus coaching up.
Whichever one goes to the Giants, it's a franchise QB. How about that? How about that for biased?
I like that.
Whoever goes to the Titans, doom. If you go to the Browns, doom. You go to the Giants, that's 5 big booms. Boom, 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 boom.
That's electric. Take that for data.
Take that for data. I can't wait for these to be clipped in 10 years if Shedeur's a bust. Marsh, you don't know what you're talking about, man. Nick Jones says, next time you're in Tampa, we should grab a beer. There was a couple of Giants people I wanted to meet up with in Tampa, but I was on a super tight schedule, man. They had me busy every minute on the hour, every second. Mr. Rick says, I got a bad vibe. Smitty is ditching us like Seeps did.
No. And if I were ever to exit, it would be on much better terms than Patrick Seatman leaving.
I don't even think he said bye.
I don't think he did.
I don't think he said bye. I think the last live he did was Saquon Barkley going to the Eagles.
Trust me, Mr. Rick, I would love to stay forever and rock with you guys for next season and however long. It's not always up to me. I got bosses. We got higher ups who make these decisions, and whatever they think's best, that's what we'll rock with.
Big AJ, Mike G. If I had to power rank studs, me, Big AJ, Mike G. Mike G, Big AJ, Marsh. Those are the studs in order.
I like that.
In order. Marsh, draft party with Giants now, folks. That's what I heard. Is that what we're doing? Y'all are all going to come in the studio and hang out with us?
You know what would be
as we're live this year for every single pick?
So kind of coinciding with that, maybe something that we've talked about or at least brought up the idea of is a Giants Now Hall of Fame party.
Hall of Fame party. Eli Manning, if he gets into the Hall of Fame, how about a Giants Now Hall of Fame party in Canton, Ohio? I know Mr. Rick's going to be there. I know Kenya's going to be there. And if Vinny Pip is not there, I'm blocking him from the channel. I don't care how many kids he got. I don't care. Get your bald ass there, Vinny Pip.
I don't care who's got a birthday party or ice
I don't care who's going bowling.
Is it ice skating lessons he's got to go to?
Bowling, he said.
Oh, it's bowling.
You know what you do for your 47th birthday? Take your kids bowling. I don't even think Vinny Pip's in here even more. He just left us. He doesn't care about us anymore.
He's ridiculous.
Hall of Fame party. How about that? A Hall of Fame meetup in Canton, Ohio if Eli Manning is there. Y'all in? Vinny Pip's here. Says, where are we going?
We're going to Canton.
Vinny Pip was probably freaking crushing up some Italian sausage for the pasta tonight and heard us say Vinny Pip on the speaker. He runs back in, types, where are we going?
That's awesome stuff. Bronxville, you're a legend.
Do I play poker? I used to play Texas Hold'em growing up a good bit. I'm starting to dabble in blackjack. Last time I went to Vegas, I did not win in blackjack that much. So
I did.
Yeah. Pieces. Yeah. Asshole. Bronx boy says I'm eating macaroni. What kind of macaroni? You look like a Kraft macaroni guy. You were definitely an Easy Mac guy back in the day.
Dude, that's a bad look, brother.
I really don't like any of the store-bought mac and cheese. I'll rock with some Velveeta shells, but
oh, I hate the Velveeta shells.
I'm out kind of.
I hate Velveeta shells. I actually wouldn't. I'd rather have the regular, the Kraft.
No, Velveeta over Kraft all day.
I'd rather have the Kraft.
Kraft is that's dog shit.
I'm not gonna lie. I'll expose my family a little bit here. My dad eats like he is full transparency, like, we're middle class people. My dad eats like he is homeless. He eats like boiled hot dogs and Kraft mac and cheese out
The
the
weenies
Tupperware.
and mac.
Yeah, he rips it up like multiple nights a month. Ever have a lobster mac? Gas.
Lobster mac and cheese.
Gas.
Every time I go to a steakhouse, I'm getting lobster mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Vinny Pip, I would love to send you my address, but I would be scared if I did. How about you? How about you jar some of that up and send it this way? Velveeta, King Cal, I knew you were a real one. King
40
Cal.
from the block said, nah, bro, I'm eating chicken and waffles. I'm winning. Yeah, you are. That's one of the, I actually never was a chicken and waffles guy until I came down here. Unbelievable.
I love chicken and waffles.
Unbelievable.
I've been to Schoen's. Roscoe's out in L.A.
Oh.
So gas.
Never been out there.
That's like one of the famous spots out there. Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. Only pay with cash.
Oh, the place is gas if you can't use a card.
Yep. I want to say, I could be wrong. If y'all want to correct me, I think Snoop Dogg is the owner now of Roscoe's Chicken and Waffle.
Dope.
Could be wrong on that. Might have just made it up, but I feel like I remember that.
Keep getting your questions in using hashtag Giants. I'm sure I'll have a ton to choose from because you guys are always asking the best questions in the chat every time we go live. And super chat to get yourself guaranteed on the mailbag. That'll be coming up in 3 more segments.
For the people that don't know, what is marinara mac?
Marinara mac. I think that's just macaroni-shaped pasta with marinara,
Marinara sauce?
with tomato sauce.
Okay. Jar it up. Send it to me, Bronx boy. I'll send you the address. I'll send you Smitty's address. How about that?
Yeah.
The Big Moo in the building.
The big.
Shout out to my guy, the Big Moo. Longtime viewer and a real one. We appreciate you. Says, I'm sticking with my original take. Love that. 10 toes down, 4 paws down.
Stand on business.
4 hooves.
Yeah.
For the Moo.
For the Moo, yeah.
Sign Justin Fields. Draft Travis. Play him at corner. Use him at receiver. On 3rd and long in red zone. Get QB in the 2nd round. Be a QB.
Best available.
Best available QB. Kenya, Kraft over Velveeta.
That's facts, Kenya. That's facts. Velveeta's ass.
I'm going to be honest. I only want homemade mac and cheese.
I kind of agree with that, though. Once you have homemade mac, you can't go back.
You can't go back. Look, I think it's a possibility. I think this could happen. I think the Giants are going to be aggressive, the Big Moo, and going out and signing a quarterback or trading for one. I mean, look, I want Cam. I want Shedeur. I'm going to be pumped up. I am going to be pumped up if the Giants get Travis Hunter. You're going to go into every Sunday with the best football player in the field.
Yeah, I would be fired up to watch that.
That'd be a lot of fun. I think this is a likely outcome. The Big Moo. Jaden Rossi, give me Shedeur. Ward's O-line was too good, in my opinion.
This is an angle that we haven't talked about a whole heck of a lot. Could be facts.
Was Cam Ward's line good?
Yeah, I think he was protected a lot. I could be wrong. We look at a lot of his stats. I could be wrong. Did we make one of those list 4 cats of Cam Ward in the pocket? See how often he's pressured?
We do have that. I don't know if it got moved over.
It should be if I could scroll down and find it.
Mike G, everyone watching. Eli goes to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Under pressure 27.4% of the time.
Meanwhile, Shedeur, on the other hand.
30.8 or something. 36.
36. That's a big difference.
So, Shedeur was under pressure 9% more than Cam Ward. Go back to Ward. Shedeur was also blitz more, though.
True. That's a good point.
Shedeur was blitz more.
By how much?
6%.
6%. So it's good. That's good. That's a good bit.
6%, 9%. Look,
probably translates.
Yeah, I'm not going to come out here and say I'm worried that his O-line was too good because we saw him make the second play so many times.
Yeah.
We saw him face an immediate rush so many times. That game, there was multiple games they couldn't protect him. But yeah, I will agree with you that the Colorado offensive line was definitely a step below. And one of my things that I'm really sticking to that I believe in is how do you perform under pressure? How do you perform when blitzed? How do you perform when the pocket is muddy? I think Shedeur Sanders might do that a little bit better. All righty.
Are we doing perfect/realistic free agency?
Perfect/realistic free agency. Let's do it. Eric Cruz in the building. He says Eli goes to 2025 Hall of Fame and the Giants win the Super Bowl 2025. Well, it'd have to be Super Bowl 2026, even though it would technically be the 2025 season.
True. Before we
Eric
start,
Cruz down the sideline.
it's caught by Cruz who breaks free. One man to beat. Victor Cruz down the sideline, 99 yards.
How come Shedeur gets a jar of marinara and Marsh doesn't get a jar of marinara, Bronx boy?
Ridiculous.
I thought we were like this.
Bro, we've known you way longer than Shedeur.
This man met Shedeur one time and he went Hollywood on us.
Did he actually, though?
No.
Oh. That's good stuff.
Mike G
He's a clown.
says Riley Leonard all day, Golden Doma. Appreciate you, Marsh. Mike G, serious question. Take off the Golden Dome. What round are you comfortable drafting Riley Leonard? I'm curious. Because I see Daniel Jones.
I see worse than Daniel Jones. I don't think Jones was not. Jones was good in college.
No, he wasn't.
Kind of was. He was better of a thrower of the football than Riley Leonard was, I think.
How many touchdowns do you think Daniel Jones threw in his best year? I don't know. I'm looking it up.
I'm going to say 25.
22.
Okay.
16 and 14 the year before that. Threw 52 touchdowns in his college career. Sam Darnold threw 35 last year. Someone commented on a video yesterday saying, man, Sam Darnold did the same exact thing Daniel Jones did. No, he didn't. Daniel Jones threw 15 touchdowns. Sam Darnold threw 35. He quite literally threw more than 2 times the amount of touchdowns that Daniel Jones did.
And he was way more than 2 times the quarterback that Jones has been.
5th round for Leonard, you say? And he says he's worse than Daniel Jones in a weaker arm. Says he's with Smitty. Look, I'm going to trust you.
I mean, I don't know how many attempts Jones was getting per game on the ground, but they were running Riley Leonard like he was a halfback.
That first drive was crazy.
Oh, my God. 6-yard run, 6-yard run, 6-yard run.
Mike G, you're a legend.
He is a great runner. I just want my quarterback to have a better arm than a leg.
All righty. Perfect/realistic-ish free agency plan. The whole idea of this video was to show you guys how much money all of these people will cost, how Joe Schoen could get sticky with the contracts to make it all work in the cap, and how much better this team could get in free agency. I don't always believe that you should try to fix all your needs in free agency, but I also believe the Giants need an infusion of talent. Don't go out and overpay Olivier Vernon. Don't go out and overpay Patrick Omameh. Don't go out and overpay Janoris Jenkins, Nate Solder, whatever his name is. Like, pay the right guys. Pay the guys that approved it. And I think we did that in today's video.
I actually thought that Solder was pretty good, but he wasn't good for the Giants.
He was horrible for the Giants.
Yeah, horrible for the Giants. He was good for the Pats, though.
Yeah, but
Just doesn't. All those guys were good before they got signed.
Vernon was a reach. Vernon was an upside signing.
Yeah, because he was a bust for his first couple of years, and then he had that one spike year.
As Josh Hart is not named an all-star. Joke.
Oh, they all came out?
Yeah,
check that later.
Somehow Tyler Hero made it.
Oh, Rolly is. F Rolly.
F Rolly in the chat. All righty. Let's get into it. We're about a month and a half away from 2025 NFL free agency being kicked off. And on today's video, we did a recap of who is all available. But really, our idea was going through a perfect free agency plan that is also realistic. We're going to go over 6 or 7 players. I can't remember how many. We're going to tell you how much money they should sign for and how that will affect the Giants cap. First, though, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We put out free, informative, entertaining content every single day, and we will be live for like the first 4 days of free agency, breaking it all down, and I don't want you to miss it. So go on right now and hit that subscribe button. All right, let's start with this. The New York Giants are projected to have $53 million in cap space, which is the 12th most in the National Football League. Sounds like a lot of money, and it is a good amount of money, and it'll be able to get you some really good players to this football team. But I feel like the Giants should try to find a way and create ways to add more money to their salary cap space. And we've talked about it before on the channel. There are multiple ways to do so. And you need to do that because you got a lot of needs on this roster. I'd say the 6 biggest needs include quarterback, right guard, defensive tackle, wide receiver, corner, and safety. You're not going to get the best player at all of these positions. You're not going to get blue chip players in free agency at all these positions. But can you pick your spots and get some impact players at these spots? We talked about the Giants having $52 million in cap space. Well, here's a way that they could add nearly $43 million more dollars of cap space. I would restructure Brian Burns' contract. 25 years old. He's going to be on the team for a while, and he's going to continue to get better. Prime candidate. I would probably wait and not do the Andrew Thomas restructure until I have to. A little bit worried about the injuries, but he's someone you could do. I absolutely would restructure Dexter Lawrence. He's going to be here. He's young. He's going to keep getting better. Push that money into the future when you have less needs on the roster. And then you could do this, and I would do this, but we're not going to have that for today's show. What we did, we are definitely restructuring Brian Burns. We are definitely restructuring Dexter Lawrence, and that gives you $25 million more in free agency, which brings you to $78.9 million in cap space. And you're really only jeopardizing the cap into the future for star players like Dexter Lawrence and Brian Burns. So now you have a bankroll. You can go out and do it. And let's start with the quarterback position. I'm going to go out and sign Marcus Mariota. I've said it a couple of times. I've mentioned he is one of my dream free agent signings at the quarterback position. At 31 years old, he still has enough tread on the tires to be able to produce and compete. But we saw this year in a backup role and a mentor role, able to be a veteran that Jaden Daniels could lean on. And if you draft Cam Ward, if you draft Shedeur Sanders, I love having a guy on the roster that I'm going to say fell short of expectations in the NFL. That's won a Heisman and that went number 2 in the draft. He can relate to these guys, and those young guys can relate to him. And the 2 games that Mariota got extensive work in, he was actually really good, completing 18 of 23 passes against Carolina Panthers for 205 yards. He had an adjusted completion percentage of 87. He threw 2 touchdowns, did not throw an interception, and did not have a turnover-worthy play. In the last game of the season against Dallas, 15 of 18, 161 yards, an adjusted completion percentage of 95 with 3 touchdowns, 1 on the ground, 2 through the air, and 0 interceptions, and 0 turnover-worthy plays. In over 40 throws this year, he did not put the ball in harm's way 1 time. Why Mariota? Because he could play right now. He could win you some games. If he has to start all 17 games for you, it's not ideal, but it's better than who you had last year. I believe he is someone that's probably a top 25, top 30 quarterback in the National Football League, and he can mentor a young QB as well. I tried to find a comparable contract for every single one of these players, and one that I stumbled upon was the Tyrod Taylor contract that he signed last offseason to join the New York Jets. He signed a 2-year, $12 million deal. Mariota was on a 1-year, $6 million deal last year for them. So I think it'd be a little bit more expensive, maybe 2 years, $14 million, maybe 2 years, $15 million. But you see his cap hit at just $2.8 million. We're going to make that, instead of Tyrod's 2.8, $3.8 million for Marcus Mariota. And that is now going to leave the Giants with $75.1 million of cap space. So you got your veteran quarterback that you need in free agency. You do. You got that in Mariota. He could start games, he could mentor, and he could be the guy that you rely on. I also want to talk about maybe pushing some money into the future on some of these contracts, because you look at the salary cap books for the New York Giants, And their salary cap books are clean as a whistle in the 2026 season. They are projected to have the 9th most cap space with 0 dead cap dollars. You will be getting that $20 million dead cap hit of Daniel Jones off the books. And I think that you should push some money into the future and go out and make sure you sign Trey Smith in NFL free agency. He's the best offensive lineman available. He plays right guard. You do not have a starting right guard, and he would be a plug-and-play player for you. I also like that he's won a Super Bowl. I also like that he's played multiple Super Bowls. He knows what it takes to win important games. This team needs more winners. It needs more leaders, and I think Trey Smith could be that. He's a great player, guys. He would change this offensive line. If your offensive line was Andrew Thomas at left tackle, John Runyon at left guard, John Michael Schmitz at center, Trey Smith at right guard, Jermaine Illuminor at right tackle. Bring back Greg Van Roten to be that backup guard and center. And if Schmitz is bad again, you could plug and play Van Roten. You would have a top 10 offensive line in the National Football League. Over 1,115 snaps this year, he didn't allow 1 sack. He's unreal as a player, and he's even better as a run blocker than a pass blocker. Look, there's going to be a lot of competition in NFL free agency to go out and sign Trey Smith. I know everyone's talking about it. You got to go get him, The Bears are my biggest fear. The GM that drafted him, or the assistant GM that drafted him, Ryan Poles is now the GM for the Chicago Bears. So, got to be competing for there, and it's going to cost you a lot of money. And I think he's going to get a similar contract that our guy Robert Hunt from last offseason ended up signing, which was a 5-year, $100 million deal with $63 million guaranteed. It's a lot of money. But you can finagle these contracts. You can set them up in ways to where the cap hits come a little bit later. For instance, Hunt had a cap hit of just $6.45 million this year. Then 21, then 24, then 24, then 23. I'd be totally okay with giving Trey Smith this exact contract. So if you sign him to it and he has a $6.45 million cap hit, the Giants would still have $68.6 million in cap space. I think it's realistic to think that that's the type of money he would get. I think it's logical. The question is, would he come play for the New York Football Giants? In this video, he has no say-so. We're going to the receiver position now. And I'm going out and I'm getting Chris Godwin. I would love to get T. Higgins. And I would love to get Trey Smith. You cannot afford them both. It's just not going to be all that logical. So I'm going to go out there and I'm going to get the second best wide receiver in free agency. Still just 28 years old. I know he's coming off a dislocated ankle, but at 28 years old, I'm not too worried about that injury. And I love the way that he played the year this year. Through 7 games, he was looked at as having the best season of any wide receiver in the National Football League. He had 50 grabs, 576 yards, 5 touchdowns, and he was cooking. And he's been so good his entire career. And like we talked about with Trey Smith, a leader, a captain, a veteran. But with Godwin, he's all of those things, but he could be a kind of just a safety valve for one of these young quarterbacks. You look at receivers in the slot that have had good success with young quarterbacks because rookie quarterbacks like those shorter throws. They like to keep the ball closer to the line of scrimmage. It's an easier throw, and they get matched up on linebackers and safeties who can't cover as well. I also love that Chris Godwin just does not drop the football. The Giants need a veteran and a captain on offense. You get that in Trey Smith. You get that in Godwin. You also get Super Bowl champions in those guys. You need to bring some winning attitude, some winning habits, some winning juice to this football team. Smith and Godwin, they've both won Super Bowls, and they would bring instant juice to this football team. A contract I think he could get is similar to the extension that Keenan Allen got a couple of years ago, which was a 4-year, $80 million deal, $20 million per year with $43 million in guaranteed money, which has his cap hit in the first year of that contract at $15.7 million. So if you sign him and you structure the contract the same way they did for Keenan Allen, you would still have $52.9 million in cap space this year, which means you still have the opportunity to go out and add more impactful players. And we'll tell you who those guys are in a second. First, though, I got to tell you about our proud sponsor, Game Time. If you want the best tickets to sporting events, concerts, or theater events, download the Game Time app. You can also go catch the big game that's happening between the team that plays in Philadelphia that nobody actually likes. And you can get $20 off your first purchase if you use the promo code ChatSports. That's ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase where terms do apply. Game Time specializes in last-minute tickets. So if you are a procrastinator like I am, you're going to love this app. Also, if you just love getting the best deal, you're going to love this app because they guarantee the best seats for the lowest price guaranteed. It's easy to decide which ticket you want because they'll give you views from inside the stadium at the seats that you want. And if you use that all-in pricing feature right there and you use that Game Time Picks feature, you're going to lock yourself into the best seats for the lowest price guaranteed. So download the app, create an account, use that promo code ChatSports, that's ChatSports, and get $20 off your first purchase where terms do apply. So we talked about a receiver, we talked about a quarterback, and we talked about an interior offensive lineman. Now let's beef up the trenches for the New York Football Giants. Go out and get me Poona Ford, the 5'11", 310-pound, 29-year-old defensive tackle. Poona Ford has kind of been an average defensive tackle throughout his career. He was unreal this year. And Pro Football Focus, they only project him to sign a one-year deal worth $3.5 million. That's a value contract that I am absolutely interested in. When you talk about what Poona Ford was good at this year, it was being a demon in the trenches. He had one of the best PFF grades against the run, and he is someone that made plays consistently at or near the line of scrimmage. Change that Dolphins to Chargers. I also want to go out and sign another defensive tackle in Teair Tart, the other defensive tackle that played for the Los Angeles Chargers. Neither of these guys are going to get big money, so I'm going to go out and get two defensive tackles that are really good against the run. And both of these guys are really good against the run. Tart, not expected to get a lot of money either. A similar deal for him as was Poona Ford's. That's like 1 year for $3.5 million. Tart's is like 1 year for like $2.8 million or something like that. That is what the PFF contract projection is. Tart was really good this year. His PFF run grade, 69.7. That's like top 25 in the National Football League. He had 29 tackles. He had 5 tackles for loss. He was able to be an extremely effective football player for the Los Angeles Chargers this year. So I'm excited about that, and I'm excited about signing him potentially to a 1 year, $2.5 million contract. He's someone that I would absolutely go and get. You pair Tart with Poona Ford, next to Dexter Lawrence, next to Brian Burns, next to Kayvon Thibodeau. You got some legit NFL players on the roster at those spots. So that's what I would do. You got to improve the run game. I'm not willing to cash out any of the defensive tackles that are actually available in free agency. I would definitely go out and get Poona Ford, though, who had a PFF grade on the overall of 85.1 and a PFF run grade of 78.8, top 10 in the NFL this past year. So if you sign Ford and you sign Tart, you still have $46.9 million in cap space. Still able to do some pretty significant things as well. And there's still a really significant position, and I want to see the Giants go out and target. And I'm looking at DB, and I'm looking at corner, and I'm looking at Charvarius Ward of the San Francisco 49ers, the 6'1" quarter that's 196 pounds and still just 28 years old. Look, he did not play good this year for San Francisco. He is someone that had some pretty traumatic family things happen in San Francisco. I don't know all the details, but he has said publicly that he just wants to get out of San Francisco. It brings back too many bad memories. But before that, man, he was awesome in 2023. Second team All-Pro. His PFF coverage grade, 83.3, 10th out of 229 corners. In 2022, he was rated 13th best out of 236 corners. And because he kind of struggled this year for whatever reason, I think you can get him on a little bit of a discount. A contract I thought was comparable was Jalen Johnson's. I think Jalen Johnson's a better football player, and I also think Jalen Johnson got way more money than what a guy like Charvarius Ward would, which was a 4-year, $76 million deal. I think Ward would be closer to 4 years and $60 million. But We're using all comparable contracts, and he had a cap hit of $13 million in his first year, which would bring the Giants to $33.9 million. Also, Ward, I believe, is a Super Bowl champion with the Chiefs. He's also been to the Super Bowl with the Niners. If you can't tell, I'm looking to go out and get people that have played in big games, that have won games, and it can bring culture to this team. Because Week 17 wins against the Colts, they don't bring culture. I also want to re-sign one of our own. I want to go out and I want to re-sign Azeez Ojulari. He's projected to get a 1-year, $5 million contract. You didn't trade him at the deadline, and if you're not willing to pay him $5 million, you're ass backwards as a general manager. I understand he misses time, but he's still just 24 years old. And he's actually, on a snap-per-snap basis, been more productive than Kayvon Thibodeau. His pass rush win rate is higher. He has 22 sacks in 46 games. He has 109 pressures in 46 games, nearly 5 pressures or 3 pressures per game. I'm terrible at math. 65 hurries as well. I think Ojulari is a really good player, and if it only was going to take $5 million, I would love to go out and do it. And you still have $28.9 million in cap space. You want to save probably 15 to sign your draft class and then to continue to go through the offseason and throughout the season. I would also then make kicker Graham Gano a post-June 1st cut to save an additional $4 million. You still have plenty of money for your draft class. You still have plenty of money as well to fill up the other spots on your roster. Sign some one-year deal guys. Sign some depth guys. But overall, 7 players that I want to see the Giants go out and sign in my perfect free agency plan while factoring in realisticness is Marcus Mariota, Trey Smith, Chris Godwin, Poona Ford, T.R. Tart, Charvarius Ward, and Azeez Ojulari. All of these players combined would have cap hits of $46.2 million in 2025. So definitely doable. Can you get Trey Smith to come here? I don't know. Can you get Chris Godwin to come here? I don't know. Does Charvarius Ward want to come here? I don't know. But, yeah, if I can go out and get these guys, I think it'd be pretty damn cool, and you'd still have a good chunk of change to spend and roll over and continue to build this roster in other ways. Grade this New York Giants free agency plan for me. A, B, C, D, or F. Try to keep it realistic. We'll also try to make it awesome enough for all of you guys. A, B, C, D, or F, let me know. And make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on IG at @MarshallGreen_.
Get your grades in for that New York Giants free agency plan. But I have a question for you, Marshall. On a scale of 1 to 100, how realistic are all those moves?
I think they're all realistic.
I think they're all realistic, yes. But, is there a chance, they do all of them? Or at least maybe a majority of? Can they get 5 of those guys?
I would think so. I mean, I don't understand why not.
Yeah. I'm not saying they wouldn't. I was just trying to get down.
Obviously, Trey Smith is a tough one. There's going to be a lot of competition. Does he want to leave the Saints? Or does he want to leave the Chiefs?
Can they pay him?
Yeah. Can they afford him? Does Chris Godwin want to leave Tampa? Been there for a long time.
Yeah, his whole career.
I think Charvarius Ward is leaving the Niners.
Yep.
I think all the contracts that we matched up in the video are more than fair for all of those players.
Absolutely.
I don't know.
That would be awesome. I think the Giants could make the playoffs if they made all those moves and drafted a rookie quarterback that was good enough.
I don't know. I mean, Trey Smith is too expensive. How? We just showed you how the Giants could fit it in and get it all done as well. I wouldn't say 5 years, $100 million is a discount. It's actually more money than what PFF is projecting him to get.
They would tie him for the highest paid guard in the league.
Yeah, so how is that a discount?
Look how good Bryce Young looked this year when he had some protection behind him.
Is it, I mean, if that was the offseason, that's an A+.
That's an A+. I don't know why
that's an
B's
A+.
are flying around in the
That's an A+. You get a quarterback that can win games and mentor. You get the best right guard in football. You get a great receiver in Godwin. You get an all-pro corner. You get 2 run-stopping defensive tackles. I don't know. We'll see what Joe Schoen could cook up. Nick Bolton, y'all want to pay another linebacker? So you want to pay Okereke, you want to pay Bolton, and you want to add McFadden? I'd rather pay bigger and more important positions than linebacker right now.
And, like, off-ball linebacker is, like, one of the decent position groups on that defense. Like,
yeah.
It's one of the holes that they don't have on this team.
The only reason I say A and not A+ is because Mariota isn't really proven at all.
Oh, no, he was slinging it this past year, man.
I thought he played well. I get what you're saying. He definitely didn't live up to the hype of being the number 2 overall pick. I
mean, listen, if you have a coach dialing it up for him like he had with when he had a spot start with Cliff Kingsbury as the OC in Washington, like, you guys, I'm sure, saw him in Las Vegas. He was terrible. But what was the environment around him there? Nothing. No weapons, bad coaches.
He beat the Cowboys.
And he beat the Cowboys with the
last game of the season this
year. Oh,
yeah,
this year. Yeah.
It was the last time Giants beat the Cowboys.
It's been a while. 4 years it'll be next season.
I don't know. I think that'd be pretty cool. You spend big on two guys, and then a decent-sized contract for a corner.
Big Blue Boss says, give me Drew Lock and let's play the Colts 16 weeks.
All right, we got a mailbag that we're going to close out the show with.
We also got mock draft.
Oh, my God, we still got to do a mock draft. All right.
8.0. We got to start flying here, brother.
Let's do the mock draft, and then we'll do the mailbag.
Alrighty. It's getting late in these streets.
Let's do it. All righty. Mock Draft 8.0 on today's show. As you're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports, I am your host, Marshall Green. We've been putting a mock drafts out every single week for 8 weeks. And on today's show, we've got one with trades. We got some trades for all you people that have been begging for them. A lot of people have been begging also for us to do a 7-round mock draft. Well, if you want a 7-round mock draft, I need you to hit that thumbs up icon. Because last week on Mock Draft 7.0, I said if you want a 7-round mock draft, we got to get to 1,000 likes. We got to 983. We were 17 likes away. If we get to 1,000 likes on today's video, Giants Now Mock Draft 9.0 will be a full 7-rounder. What's up, you mock draft sickos? You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. I'm excited to talk about this one, a 3-round mock draft, this time with trades. We hadn't done a mock draft that had any trades yet. 2 of them. In the draft order today, we're rolling with the one that is going to be rolled with at the late end of April. Titans, Browns, Giants, Pats, Jags, Raiders, Jets, Panthers, Saints, and the Bears. The Giants had the 3rd pick in the 1st round. 2nd pick in the 2nd round, 3rd pick in first pick in the 3rd round at pick 65. You got selection 104, selection 134, selection 153, 219, 245, and 256. Again, I use the Pro Football Focus mock draft simulator, so don't be mad at me. And they had Cam Ward going number 1 overall to the Tennessee Titans. I've been hoping that Cam Ward would fall to the Giants. There's been talk that the Titans aren't going to pass up on a generational player at 1, but you know what? They went out and they selected Cam Ward. Then with the 2nd pick of the draft, the Cleveland Browns called me, and they were once again trying to make a trade because they let me know that the Las Vegas Raiders were trying to trade up to number 2 to select Shedeur Sanders. And they told me, Matthew Peterson of the Cleveland Browns report here at Chat Sports, that if you don't make a trade to go up to number 2, we're going to trade the pick to Las Vegas, and they're going to take Shedeur Sanders, and you will not have a quarterback to pick at number 3. And Matthew Peterson said, you know what? There's already been a trade in the last 10 years that happened where a team went number 3 to number 2 to select a quarterback. And he sent me this. It had the Chicago Bears going from the number 3 pick to the number 2 pick to select Mitch Trubisky, with them giving up pick number 3, pick 67, a third-round pick, a fourth-round pick, and a future third. So it cost them 2 third-round picks and a fourth-round pick to move up one slot to select Mitchell Trubisky. So for the Giants, this is what it would look like. You move up one spot, you give them pick 3, so you flop. You give them your third-round pick, number 65 overall, first pick of the third round. You give them a fourth-round pick, number 134, and we're going to give you a 2026 third-round pick. It's a deal that has a lot going. Or is it a lot? Is 2 third-round picks and a fourth-round pick a lot to move up for a quarterback that you might think is a franchise guy? I'll ask you, would you make this trade? Would you make this trade? A for accept, D for decline. If you don't make this trade, you're not getting Shedeur Sanders. If you do, you are getting Shedeur Sanders. Would you make the deal? A for accept, D for decline. How about that culture win versus the Colts, right? How cool was that culture win? Now if the Giants want to guarantee a spot to get a quarterback in a draft that plays out like this, they got to give up draft picks they could have just kept if they lost that game. Hey, for culture, though, you know what? I'm sure a lot of people are going to say decline. I'm accepting that deal. I am. It's a third-round pick this year, a third-round pick next year, and a fourth-round pick. I think that Shedeur Sanders could be a franchise quarterback. And I know that the New York Giants love Shedeur Sanders. And Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll are now coaching and GMing for their job, which means you don't always do what's best for the organization. Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll cannot afford to leave the 2025 NFL draft without a round 1 quarterback. Because if you leave the draft with a round 1 quarterback, you could at least preach to John Mayer, we need time, we need patience. This is our guy. We're going to get him in the system. We're going to help him evolve. Year 2 is going to be better. Year 3 is going to be better. If you suck, and Jackson Darcher answered, if you suck and you don't get a good quarterback in this draft, you are fired after next year. Trading up could save them their jobs, even if that player is not good. It could keep their jobs occupied for a little bit longer. I would do the deal, though, because you don't have a quarterback. I think he is a franchise quarterback, and I think he would have success with the New York Giants. Shedeur Sanders, a polarizing prospect, no doubt about it. But I think for people that have watched the tape, people that have talked to people that have spent time around him, there are a lot of things to like about his game. First and foremost, I think he's the most accurate quarterback in this class, and that is replicated in his completion percentage. Completing 69% of his passes last year, up to 74% of his passes this year. Passing yards, major jump. Touchdowns, jump. Turnover-worthy play percentage actually went down despite the interceptions going up, and he's not afraid to make big throws. He can make big throws, and he is someone, in my opinion, that has a trait that I am willing to bet on, which is being able to work from a dirty pocket, being able to work in a pocket where there is pressure. I think the most important thing when evaluating a quarterback in college is how do they perform under pressure, because in the NFL, you're always going to be under pressure, and he was great under pressure. 54.7% of his passes were completed, threw 12 touchdowns to 5 interceptions, and he was also really good when blitzed. He reminds me of Dak Prescott when he's blitzed. Not afraid of it at all, able to stand in there, take a hit, get back up, tough as nails. And I don't know if I'm just falling for the glamour of Shedeur Sanders. There feels like there's something special about this kid. He's Deion Sanders' son. He's been brought up, and he's been mentored by Tom Brady. And there seems to be a professionalism about him that I think the Instagram commenters want to not talk about. This is a big risk, though. It absolutely is. You're moving 2 third-round picks and a fourth-round pick to move up for a franchise quarterback. If he's bad in 3 years, you're probably fired. But like Brandon Beane once said, when he wanted to trade up for a quarterback, doesn't matter what we gave up. Because if it fails, we won't be here. I think Joe Schoen will adopt that same mindset. I think Sanders is the Giants quarterback 1 in this class. I think if you put Joe Schoen on a lie detector and said if you could have any quarterback in this class, it would be Shedeur Sanders. For all the people that type D for decline in the chat, I'll ask you this question. Would you trade Josh Azudu, Daniel Bellinger, and Cordell Flott for Shedeur Sanders? Would you trade Josh Azudu, Daniel Bellinger, and Cordell Flott for a franchise quarterback? Because Josh Azudu was a third-round pick. Cordell Flott was a third-round pick. And Daniel Bellinger was a fourth-round pick. You win in this league with quarterbacks. You win in this league with big-time throws. You win in this league with the right guy under center. You don't win in this league with Josh Azudu, Daniel Bellinger, and Cordell Flott. Yeah, you do the trade. I hope you all now type accept. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel because the offseason hasn't even started yet. Free agency isn't even here. Trade season hasn't even opened up. And I can't wait. We might be going to the combine. Subscribe and turn those notifications on. Coming up, we only got a round 2 selection. Or maybe we don't because we traded that third-round pick. Maybe another trade is coming, and we'll recoup some of those picks. I got nasty with it today. Make sure you are hooked up with our proud sponsor, Game Time. If you're looking to buy tickets to go somewhere this spring, concert, theater event, you want to go to opening day to watch Juan Soto strike out 5 times, or you want to go watch the real New York team, the New York Yankees, get your tickets with Game Time. The best seats for the lowest price guaranteed. Prices actually drop as the events get closer, and Game Time, make sure you get the lowest price guaranteed. You get to see your seat view in the app, so it's easy to decide which tickets you want. And it's the most user-friendly app. Super easy to navigate. You get to access your tickets from your phone. Super easy to get in the stadium. Easy to resell your tickets if you Spumoni had it going last second. And you get $20 off your first purchase with our promo code ChatSports. Use that all-in pricing feature. That way the price you see is the price you pay. No hidden fees when you get to checkout. And that Game Time Picks feature makes it that much more easy to go see your favorite team perform. More than just sporting events, concert, theater events, and so much more. I've been to the Home Run Derby. I've been to an NFL playoff game. I've been to a college playoff game. I've been to all of the games and all of the concerts with Game Time. So download it, create an account, use that promo code ChatSports. All righty. We were on the clock at pick 34. And then I got a call from a New Jersey number and said, you know what? There's a guy up there that I want. I'm like, okay, well what's the deal? It says, drop back 8 spots, and then we'll give you pick number 92. So a late third-round pick, one of the last picks in the third round, and he dropped back 8 spots. So you know what? I just gave up 2 third-round picks to go up and get my franchise quarterback, Shedeur Sanders. I don't really love any of the picks at 34. I think I can get the guy I want at 34 at 42. So I did the deal. So the Giants are on the clock at pick 42. And I drafted a nasty offensive lineman, Gray Zabel, out of North Dakota State from South Dakota. Have we ever seen a North Dakota State offensive lineman fold? No. I'm going to be willing to bet on one of those trench bullies being successful in the NFL. 6'6", 305, a little bit light. Going to continue to grow in the NFL and put on more weight. 16 games started this year. 22 years old. First team FCS All-American. And what I love about him the most is positional versatility. Throughout his career, he's played multiple positions on the offensive line for North Dakota State. This is someone that this most recent year, he played left tackle for them, 961 snaps. The year before, though, he played 686 snaps at right tackle with 211 snaps at left guard. And then the year before that, he played 152 snaps at left guard and 378 snaps at tackle. This year, he had an overall PFF grade of 90.4, and he allowed one sack, and 453 pass blocking snaps. He allowed 2 QB hits and 453 pass blocking snaps and just 4 QB hurries. He's at the top of the league in percentile and run block grade, pass block grade, gap grade, zone grade, true pass set block grade. And he is lighting the Senior Bowl on fire. Dane Brugler, the lead NFL draft insider for The Athletic, tweeted this out back on November 13th. Says, Gray Zabel is the number 47 prospect in my top 50 and one of the better offensive linemen in the 2025 class. Easy player to like. Has played tackle and guard. At least one NFL scout thinks he might end up being the top center in this class. Able to be productive from multiple spots. I absolutely love that. We talked about him lighting the Senior Bowl on fire. Just go to Google and type in Gray Zabel. You know what it says? North Dakota State offensive lineman Gray Zabel impresses at the Senior Bowl. There are articles after article after article saying that this guy is lighting it up. And I'll say this. You want to trade up for Shedeur? You want to draft a rookie quarterback? You want to reach for a guy? Get him some protection. The most important thing for a rookie quarterback to have success is offensive line protection. This guy can play right tackle. He can play guard. He can be your right tackle, and you move a guy like Jermaine Illuminor back to guard. You can keep Jermaine Illuminor as your starting right tackle. Sign a veteran right guard. He's your sixth offensive lineman. Build up the trenches. Protect your young QB. Back on the clock at pick number 92, and we went to the defensive side of the football. We went out and we grabbed a safety, Andrew Mukuba. I watched 500 videos on him. I could send you to say the name wrong. Mukuba. He is a do-it-all safety. Little small at 6 foot 190, but he plays with a big heart, man. Plays with a huge heart. And he plays with grit, not afraid to make plays in the run game. And he is someone that this past year elevated his stock like crazy. He was with Clemson in 2023, transferred to Texas, and he was a huge part of their defense. He had a PFF coverage grade of 89.7 and like the 90th percentile. His forced incompletion rate was 26.1%, and he is a true deep safety. 508 snaps at deep safety this year. But the year before that, 315 snaps in the slot. The year before that, 243 snaps in the slot. What does that tell me? He could play deep safety. He could play slot corner. He can wear multiple hats. He can line up all over the football field. He's a fast player. He's an athlete. And he is someone that when the ball is in the air, he can go make a play on it. 0 touchdowns allowed to 5 interceptions. He allowed just 10 receptions on 23 targets. And when quarterbacks targeted them, he allowed a 12.1 passer rating. This guy is sticky in coverage, and he can patrol the back half of the defense. Mel Kiper has Mukuba as the 5th best safety in the entire draft, and you're getting him at pick number 92 in this mock draft. You could have him and Tyler Nubin with Deonte Banks and maybe a free agent corner as well as you continue to build the back half of your defense. So mock draft 8.0, a trade up for Shedeur Sanders. A trade down in round 2 to get Gray Zabel and an additional pick from the Jets and Andrew Mukuba. Grade this mock draft for me. I want you to be honest. 1 to 100. 100, A+. Didn't miss anything. 1, worst mock draft you've ever seen. It's never a mock draft until someone gives me a 1. So who's going to do it? Give me a follow on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram at @MarshallGreen_.
You know what the best part about mock draft season is?
What's
We're
that?
not even halfway done. We're not even halfway done. Well, I guess you can always start, Bears Now here at Chat Sports started their mock drafts in November or whatever it was in 2023. We started ours while the Giants were still playing ball.
Yeah, first mock draft 1.
Would have had to have been. We're done 8.0. We do one a week.
Mock draft 1.0 was
Ripping it up in like week 15.
Everyone was all big, bad, and tough saying they wouldn't do that trade. But then when I put names to those picks, I think a lot of people changed their mind.
Yep.
Mock draft 1.0 was November 23rd.
Jeez.
Then mock draft 2 was December 7th. Mock draft 3, December 14th. Mock draft 4 was December 26th. Mock draft 5 was January 8th. 6 was 20th, and then 7 was 27th.
Okay. We got a ways to go. There's 4 weeks in February. There's 4 weeks in March. There's about 4 weeks in April before that draft finally rolls around. We could be looking at mock draft 20.0 potentially.
I'm 100. I saw during the video said, why are we drafting an offensive lineman if we sign Trey Smith? And I try to say this with the most respect possible. You need more than 5 guys.
And he's a second round offensive lineman. Like the Chiefs drafted a second round offensive lineman, thought he could start and he couldn't. So
what happens if Andrew Thomas gets hurt? Who are you going to put at tackle? Wouldn't you feel pretty confident putting a guy that went 42nd in the NFL draft? What happens if Jermaine Illuminor gets hurt? Or like every year Giants offensive linemen get hurt. We got to get out of the mindset of we only draft for need. Draft the best player available. Legit teams have legit depth. You're telling me we're not going to draft an offensive lineman because we signed one in free agency? That's not how you build a winner. This isn't quarterback. There's not only one guy on the field playing. I agree with Bronx Boy that I'm afraid for Joe Schoen to draft him. Let me draft him.
Got a mailbag coming up to close today's show. Get your last-minute questions in, #Giants, or send in a Super Chat to guarantee yourself a spot. Got a lot of questions that are Giants applicable in our Super Chats today, so majority of the show is going to be taken up by that. If you want to be a part of it, send in a Super Chat with your question.
Shane Tompkins, I just want to ask you a question, man. What drama is Shedeur Sanders bringing to the Giants?
Was there any drama at Colorado?
Like,
there was never like a big story that came out about him being a
what
problem.
has he done wrong in his life? Maybe he pushed a ref during a game?
Did he do that? I don't even know.
Like, seriously. Like, why does he get such a bad rap? I don't get it. I really don't get it. You think Tom Brady would put his name on something of a guy that's a shithead? No. Think Tom Brady would put his reputation on the line backing up Shedeur Sanders if he was a shithead? I'm sorry, guys. We got to wake up. We got to wake up. Like, Shane, at the beginning of the draft cycle, I was saying all those things too. And then I did work. And then I talked to people. And then I listened to people. And then I did a lot of communication. There's nothing wrong with Shedeur Sanders. He's about as clean of a prospect as they come. And you know what? I love the fact that his dad played in the NFL. I love the fact that his dad is NFL royalty. I don't know, man. I don't think Deion Sanders would be a distraction. Maybe at one point I did. I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I just think, Shane, I'm not trying to point you out. You were the name I saw. You said it. Everyone says it. Everyone. Oh, we can't draft Shedeur. And like the Sanders circus. Maybe we were talking about that at one point. I don't believe in that anymore. I don't. I changed my mind. Like, was there a circus in Colorado?
Outside of wearing a bust-down AP and flexing it after he runs in for a touchdown.
He wears jewelry.
That's his crutch.
Does he maybe have an ego? Sure.
He's
all great athletes have egos.
He's Deion Sanders' son.
Yeah, he's Deion Sanders' son.
If he didn't have an ego, I actually would probably be concerned.
I feel like a lot of people are being unfair, and like, now I sound like a sissy. I feel like a lot of people are being unfair to him. That's how I feel. I don't even have him as best quarterback in this class, but to act like he's an off-the-field problem is, like, factually just incorrect. It just is. No, if you see one, like, yeah, or like a quick read only or something. Shane Tompkins says, sorry, I got high standards for the QB of my football team. What high standards does he not live up to? And also, what did you think of Daniel Jones? Because if you were a Daniel Jones supporter, you didn't have that high standards. I think it's an out-of-date narrative at this point. I think it's an out-of-date narrative.
It's tired. I don't know, man.
If he was such a bad person, do you think all these teams would be interested in drafting him? Like
Raiders begging for him? Like, if he was such a bad person, do you think Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll or not Brian Daboll as much, but Joe Schoen in the front office would do as much homework as they have on him? You could tell if somebody isn't a fit for you or he's an issue in your mind pretty quickly. And they've been watching the guy for quite a long time. They've talked to him quite a few times.
Joe Schoen said he was a great kid.
Great kid.
Coach's son. Do we forget that he's a coach's son? Because any other time any other quarterback's a coach's son, that's a big green check mark on their resume.
Yeah.
Why is it not for him?
Garrett Nussmeier, huge. I know
Coach's son.
staying in college, but he's coach's son. And everybody over like a couple months ago was gawking over the fact that he is a coach's son and could come out in the draft. And they like that quality about him.
Yeah, I'm not saying you said he was a bad person. A lot of people do, though. A lot of people do. I just don't think it's. We'll all find out. We'll all find out.
Yes, we will.
We will all find out. All right, let's get to this mailbag. Is Deion a real coach? I'd say so. Colorado football's humming better than it has in a long, long time. But that also sounds like you got some hate there, Big Dave. Yeah, I'm sure we would all take Micah Parsons on our team. Did we forget what he did in the Penn State locker room? I don't know. I think he was made for this. I'm starting to get on that. Maybe it's because I'm watching too many videos, watching him work out all the time. I think he is a competitive SOB that wants to be great and is willing to put in the work. And he's a part of the Sanders legacy. I don't know. I'm cool with it. I'd be cool if the Giants drafted him. If I'm wrong, I'll tell you I'm wrong. All right, it's mailbag time here on the channel. You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Appreciate everybody for stopping by. On today's show, we're just going to answer questions from subscribers, get back to the roots of this channel, engaging with the audience, and just answering questions from the real ones. If you didn't get your question answered, it means you're not subscribed. So I kindly ask everybody to hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 100,000 subscribers, and it still tells me about 50% of the people that watch are unsubscribed, so please change it. Davey, what's up, man? Yo, what's up? Would you trade Stafford? Would I trade for Stafford? Yes. I think that ship has sailed, though. I think he's either going to play for the Rams or he's going to retire. That's kind of where I'm at. On that, would I pay a price of a second-round pick? Probably. But, does Matthew Stafford want to come here? He was a play away from getting to the NFC Championship. I don't know. Rob Jigga, what's up, man? Marsh, on a scale of 1 to 100, how confident are you today with the Giants getting Cam Ward? More mocks have Ward at 3. Yeah. Bucky Brooks did a mock. Cam Ward went to 3. Daniel Jeremiah did a mock where he went to 3. If you ask me today, as I filmed this video on January 30th, I think it's a 50% chance Shedeur Sanders is the pick. I think it's a 30% chance that it's Travis Hunter. And I think it's a 20% chance it's Cam Ward. That is on January 30th. We'll see how we look on March 30th. Bear! If we sign Fields or Darnold, do you think there's more of a chance we go BPA? Yeah, I do. But I think Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll know that their job security and the leash that they're going to have from Mr. Mara is going to be longer if they get out of the round one with a quarterback. But hey, if they go out and they sign Sam Darnold, I would rather them get Travis Hunter because he's a 27-year-old quarterback that you're signing at a premium. That's more than likely going to be a guy making $40 million, $30 million. For Fields, I think you still draft a quarterback at 3. Darnold, I think you go more BPA. I don't know about Fields, though. Marco Di Natale. If we get Keenan Allen, what happens with Wandale? He stays on the team, and he just sees his reps cut a little bit. He's not the starting slot receiver anymore. And that might be a good thing. This team needs more talent. I don't know if Keenan Allen is going to be the guy. He has said publicly, and a lot can change. It's either Chicago or the West Coast for him. But I love the idea of getting a veteran, slot wide receiver that can get open in one-on-one man situations, is excellent at creating separation, and strong hands. Look at Jaden Daniels with Zach Ertz. Look at Jaden Daniels with the slot connections he had all year. I want a slot demon, not a 10 catches for 40-yard slot demon. I want a slot demon on this team, and Keenan Allen's one of the best route runners in NFL history. Jaquicks. Is Stephon Diggs too old in free agency for us? I think so. I think in this stage of his career, he's probably looking to compete for a Super Bowl. As much as I love this team, I think we're a couple years away from that. He's coming off a torn ACL. He's over 30. His last 100-yard game was against the Giants in 2023. I'm not really interested in Stephon Diggs. The big move. I'm sticking with my original take. Sign Justin Fields as soon as free agency starts. Draft Travis and play him at corner. And use him as wide receiver on third and long red zone. Get him QB in the second round, best available. I think it's absolutely possible. And look, I think the Giants are going to go out and sign a quarterback. I think they may trade for one. Before we get to the draft, there's that minimum going to be one new quarterback on this team. Travis Hunter, I would play him both ways. I would. I think he's built for it. I think he's special. And if you don't get a quarterback in round 1, you better take one in round 2. Marco, what's up? Marsh, you demand. Now you demand. What are your thoughts on taking Restrepo? I like Xavier Restrepo. I have him more as a day 3 pick. I think he's a good slot receiver. Kind of reminds me of Sterling Shepard a little bit. I don't know if I want to play it on the outside. I wonder about his long speed. But as a third-round pick, I'd be cool with it. Corey Grant, do you think Shedeur Sanders wants to play for the Giants? Yes. He made cleats that were New York Giants designed. I think if you ask Shedeur Sanders who he wants to play for the most, I think it's the Giants. I think the Raiders are up there too, but he knows what it's like to be a star in New York. I mean, New York Giants are bad. No doubt about it. Outside of the Cowboys, when the Giants are good, they're the biggest story in the NFL. They just are. If you want the Giants to draft Shedeur Sanders, hit that thumbs up icon. I want to take the pulse of the fan base. Let me know. We'll get to more questions coming up in a second. First, though, I got to tell you guys about our proud sponsor, Game Time. Thank you to Game Time for sponsoring this video. And if you're looking for tickets to the big game coming up, you can get the best seats for the lowest price guaranteed with our proud sponsor, Game Time. Best seats for the lowest price. Price actually drop as the events get closer. You are going to be working with an app that specializes in last-minute tickets. It's easy to resell your tickets as well. And if you use our promo code ChatSports, that is ChatSports, you're going to get $20 off your first purchase where terms do apply. Last-minute tickets and flash deals. Views from the seat. Lowest price guaranteed. Use that all-in pricing feature. That way the price you see is the price you pay. And use that Game Time Picks feature. That way you get locked in to the best deal. All this information will be clickable down in the comments and description of today's show. Chat Sports for the promo code. $20 off first purchase where terms do apply. CTM. What up, CTM? Will the Giants try to trade up to 1 to secure their guy? What assets would you give up? I think if the New York Giants have a feeling, Corinne, that they think one of these guys is the guy and a franchise quarterback, they might not mess around and just go get him. We saw in 2017, the San Francisco 49ers traded down from 2 to 3 with the Bears. Bears traded up from 3 to 2. They gave up 2 third-round picks and a 4th-round pick to move up 1 spot. I'd be willing to do a deal like that. To get to the number 1 pick, you might have to give up a little bit more. I mean, look, I think both these guys could be successful quarterbacks in the NFL. You need a team around them. You need to develop them. You got to get them protection. But at the end of the day, like, you need a guy. And Giants haven't had a guy in a long time, and Giants haven't been anything in a long time. Throwing shade. If you had to trade draft positions with the Raiders, what's a fair offer? To be honest, if a quarterback's on the clock, there is not a fair offer. Because I have deemed these guys that I think could be successful in the NFL. And the Raiders wouldn't trade up if both quarterbacks are, if one of the quarterbacks is not on the board. So yeah, I wouldn't do it. And it would have to be multiple first-round picks. Multiple. That's where I'm at on that. Mr. Rick says, how much money does Shane have to play with this spring? To my knowledge, it's about $54 million in salary cap space, 12th most in the National Football League. They could easily create more money by restructuring Brian Burns, restructuring Dexter Lawrence, restructuring Andrew Thomas, and cutting your boy, Graham Gano. BX paying, NY repping. What's our plans for Evan Neal? Hopefully to trade, move him to guard. Can we trade and get anything good? No. You cannot get anything good in return for Evan Neal. No, he's not good. Not good. I'd love to pawn our trash on somebody else and get a good return, but That's not happening. Mr. Rick, is there any truth about Shane making a stab at Sam Darnold? It was reported by Jordan Renan a couple days ago the Giants liked Sam Darnold last year. And if you liked him last year, and then he went up and threw 35 touchdowns, I'm sure you're going to like him again. Yeah, I think there's some juice to the Giants signing Sam Darnold. Shane Tompkins, what's up, bro? Are we all worried that our front office misses more than it hits? Yeah, absolutely, Shane. That's why I said I think the Giants should fire Joe Shane. We have a lot of picks in this draft, but I'm worried the 2024 draft class was a fluke. I do too. I don't really believe in Joe Shane as a talent evaluator, especially on the offensive line and especially at quarterback. I said I would have fired Joe Shane and started new, but I'm going to believe in him because at this point, we're not going to fire him for another 365 days, and my life would just be miserable if I came up here and shitted on him at all times. So I'm going to believe in him because what else do we got? Hixie Dust. If we don't get a QB in the draft, who would you be happy riding with from free agency? If you don't get a QB from the draft, I want Sam Darnold because he's the best quarterback in free agency. That's my answer. That's my answer. If you don't get a quarterback in the draft, I want the best one in free agency. Thing is, free agency is before the draft. So Giants are going to have to fill that hole before that, and they're not going to know if they're going to get one in the draft. Interesting to see what they'll do. CTM, why have the Giants not signed many future reserves contracts? I don't know if there's a reason to it. I think they signed like 5 or 7 of them. We did a video on the channel. I'll look into that, though. I'll do some digging. I'll let you know if there's any reason as to why it's not more, but they did do a handful. Nick Jones, how do you feel about drafting Cameron Scattaboo to pair with Tracy second or third round? I just think, man, that the Giants, I get it, and I got to say it again, BPA. I don't know if I want to draft a running back in the second or third round this year. There's a lot more holes on this team. And I don't know if you fill them all in the draft, but I'd rather take a running back in like the 5th round. You got Tracy, who I think played better than expectations as a rookie. He's played the position for 2 years. Hopefully the offensive line gets better. Hopefully he gets better. And hopefully Motor Singletary is a good RB2. You paid him. He better be. I'd draft a running back in the later rounds. I don't know about second or third round. Scattaboo is a good player. I want more premium positions drafted in premium rounds. Sean Mullins, last one, my man. Can Derek Carr be good here with a good line? Yes. Malik, possibly Hunter, possibly Diggs. He's got heart, just maybe never had the right team. I think Derek Carr is the top 18, 19 quarterback in this league. If you sign a right guard, you sign Derek Carr, and you add a Malik Neighbors and Travis Hunter, yeah, I think it could be pretty solid. What is that, 8 wins? 9 wins? I think so. Make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter at @MarshallGreen_, Instagram at @MarshallGreen_.
Alrighty.
Michael M says Darnold is Daniel Jones 2.0. Daniel Jones threw 15 touchdowns and then got a big contract. Sam Darnold threw 35 touchdowns. I get it. You're probably I don't know. I think that's very lazy. He won 14 games. 14 games and 35 touchdowns. Like, I'm not gonna come up here and pound the table and say Sam Darnold's guaranteed to be great, but
how many better than what you had?
He's way better than Daniel Jones. I kindly ask everyone to go watch the Sam Darnold highlights from this year. Tell me if that looks like Daniel Jones. This guy's throwing 60-yard moon balls to Justin Jefferson for 99-yard touchdowns.
And he didn't always have a clean pocket either. That O-line got banged and
his left tackle out for the season.
who's
Christian
also
Darrisaw.
one of the best left tackles in the league.
Kevin O'Connell's system. Cousins looked good in that system. Yeah, Cousins was a pretty good quarterback in the NFL for a pretty long time.
He was on a Hall of Fame trajectory numbers-wise, Kirk Cousins.
I'm 100. You've had some bad takes today, brother. You've had some bad takes today. Exactly it, King Cow. Exactly it. He'll regress just like Jones did. Okay.
What did Jones regress from?
He didn't regress.
He was the same player the whole time.
He stopped having an elite red zone coach calling the plays, and he stopped having a great running back. He was the same guy. Same guy. Nothing changed. Nothing changed. I challenge all of us to think more critically than saying things like, oh, Evan Neal's okay. He had a bad rookie year. Andrew Thomas had a bad rookie year. He'll be okay. Oh, Sam Darnold is just the next Daniel Jones. We're all smart people. We all love this team. You all just watched this show for 2 hours and 20 minutes. Think more critically. Challenge yourself. Challenge yourself. Why is Sam Darnold just Daniel Jones? Why? Because they hadn't been good and they had one good year? No. Like, come on, man. Let's all challenge ourselves. Let's all think critically. And let's leave the surface stuff for the Instagram commenters. It's the last person you want to be as an Instagram commenter. Okay. Shane Tompkins, because he sees ghosts. Oh, when their offensive line got shredded in the last 2 weeks? He didn't see ghosts when he lit our ass up. Everyone's going to have their opinion. I get it. I just challenge you to do more work on your opinion. I'm not saying my opinion's right, but I think it's pretty dumb to just say he's just Daniel Jones.
Rooted in research.
Yeah, rooted in research. 15 touchdowns to 35 touchdowns. So even if he steps back, Smitty, and goes to 23 touchdowns, that's still solid.
Still better than Daniel Jones has ever played.
All righty. See y'all later.
Later.